Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarose.
And this is the Nerdy,
the Wordy,
the Book Club. We are live talking about the Stormlight Archive. Mm-hmm. It's our full series review, recap, whatever you want to call it. We're just going to answer your questions.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about Stormlight. We're going to chill, guys. It's the new year.
Second book club of the week.
Yeah.
First book club 2026.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
First book club in year 5 of the book club. We did our 4-year anniversary, y'all. It's year 5. We're doing new things, new books, new series, new authors.
Just new everything.
New everything, yeah.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
I have some goals for the year. I want to interview more authors. We did that for a minute, and then we stopped doing that. And I want to get back into doing that.
All right.
I want to write my own book. It's going to be bad, but, like, whatever. I'm going to do it. And
it's going to be a fun smut book, and people are going to love that it was for charity. It's going to be very fun.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Oh.
It is fun.
Grimdark smut? Like what?
Kind of.
Oh, okay. That's not what I was expecting from, like, a novella, but sure.
Yeah, it's very politically dense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's sort of about...
This book is no longer a novella for fun.
It's a fantasy world in which the magic system is deeply tied into the, like, economic and, like, life-sustaining world between two countries at war.
Okay.
And so the battle lines of that war are drawn by humans and this other species' ability to connect to the magic of the world.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
And sex.
And a young woman who gets caught between men on either side of the battle.
Great.
Yeah.
Love that. Adultery.
No, actually. She's not married, no.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Trying to, like, think of book talk, like, tropes, and I don't know any because I don't read this.
I mean, it's definitely got, like, enemies to lovers.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's a little bit of, like, last year of school kind of vibes to it. Not high school, but, like, Clarissa is a young mage who is...
I thought you were going to say a young maid. I was like,
No, young mage.
Yeah.
Who has been... who is found in this small town she lives in to have an inordinate amount of ability with her ability to connect to the ley lines of the world.
Yeah.
And at a young age, and has been trained to join the army of the Empire from a young age and indoctrinated into their way of thinking. And all of that changes when the war itself comes to the edge of the town that she lives in that's been far from the front lines for her whole life.
Yeah, all right.
And all the stories she's heard about the conflict that her country's embroiled in have to come into conflict with meeting someone from the other side for the first time.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
All right, book pitch, let's go. Linus, welcome back to the Nerds Radiant.
Yeah, Lee News.
7 months. You also got a lot of books falling.
Yeah, Blue is Blue. Blue is celebrating the end of the Stormlight Archive.
Fair. You know what?
Blue is
God,
like,
so am I. Jesus Christ.
Blue is Blue received a gift membership from Blue is Blue.
Blue, you gave yourself a gift membership.
Wild.
I love that for you.
Wild.
Seriously.
Good for Blue.
Thank you so much for 20 gift memberships. Holy shit.
You're insane.
Y'all. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of reactions coming up because of Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah. What was the final count? Or I guess it goes until the end of this episode. So if you want to get your Dungeon Crawler Carl...
3 hours.
If you want us to react to anything between 1 and 27, talk to Arzu.
Yes.
And Arzu will let us know at the end of this podcast how many reactions we're doing this week. Blue is Blue says, yo, thanks for the gift, Blue. No problem, Blue.
Love that.
Welcome to the podcast this morning, everyone.
What a start to 2026. Let's go.
Judah Isaac, thank you for the super chat.
You.
I came in to say hi before my hike to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hope y'all had fun. I spent New Year's Eve DMing for 13 people and I'm exhausted. We'll catch up later.
That's rough, yeah.
Ooh. What's the most number of people we could fit on camera?
On camera?
Like, do you think I could DM for like
I would
20
say,
people for...
No, I would say 12.
Ooh, a 12 person.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
12
7, 8,
players,
12.
12 hours. One shot.
No.
We should do it one time.
No.
It'd be fun.
No. Maybe. No.
Everybody gets one turn of combat.
Yeah, basically. That'd be tough. It'd have to be real combat light.
Everyone, we don't have a sponsor today, so we're going to get right into it. We're talking about the Stormlight Archive full series recap, and I have a spicy hot take I want to jump into right at the beginning.
Nerdy's excited to share this. I don't know what it is, okay?
I've been thinking a lot about the end of this book, and I don't know if you watched book club for the last 3 months. I didn't like it very much, and...
Yeah, neither did the comments. I, popped over to this channel, I clicked on the notifications, and it's all yeah, no, worst Cosmere book ever. This was so rough to get through, and I was like, yeah, man.
I have a really hard time with how this book ends. Because the big emotional climax of this is Dalinar's death, right? And the moments leading up to Dalinar's death, to me, I've been thinking about them a lot. Because I was like, thematically, this isn't working for me. And I was having I didn't even on Wednesday know why I couldn't put it into words.
Oh, yeah.
It's because this book wants the theme of Dalinar's death to be that he finally lets go and trusts other people to get shit done.
Yeah.
That's not the story of the Stormlight Archive at all. And Dalinar's problem throughout this series has never been his inability to trust other people to get shit done. And so that comes out of nowhere, and I don't like it. Book 1. I got receipts, don't you worry. Book 1. Go read Way of Kings. Go read Way of Kings and tell me that entire fucking book is not Dalinar going to meetings, asking people to work together. Read the whole book.
Adolin, I need you to take care of this.
Adolin, you look into the Gavilar thing. I have to go to multiple meetings every day and ask people to... What?
The Elokar thing. The strat.
Yeah. Because I need to go to meetings to ask people to work with me. I finally get Sadeas to work with me. Dalinar gets betrayed, but it's not because Dalinar was trying to be a lone wolf. He genuinely is trying to work with people.
That's true.
Book 2. Dalinar brings Kaladin in, trusts Kaladin to hire his own team.
Yeah,
lets Kaladin kind of do whatever the fuck he wants. Trusts Yasna, or not Yasna, trusts Navani with her tech. Trusts Shallan on the we gotta go. Trusts a lot of people. Yeah. Book 3 doesn't go to Alethkar to save it himself because he has to build the coalition.
Yeah.
Dalinar is in your theory hey, I really want to go save Alethkar. I actually need you guys to go do it because I am too busy in meetings trying to get people to work with me. Book 4, he's like, hey, I can't lead the army. I need the Mink to do it, and I trust the Mink to do it. A man I've never met before. I am trusting him on reputation alone.
Well, and even in book 5, he's like, hey, Kaladin, I want you to be the heir.
There's just no point in the entire series where the negative plotline is that Dalinar tried to lone wolf so hard that things went poorly.
Yeah.
It's not like in book... I think that this, Dalinar finally let go and trusted other people. I think it would work for me if, Takar and Amul had broken off and, betrayed them this book because Dalinar didn't do what the Mink wanted in book 4. Right. And Dalinar taking over that conflict led them to break off and turn to the enemy. But I can't think of a single moment in this whole series where Dalinar lone wolfing it or superseding someone was a negative in any situation. I can't think of one. And so the end of this book ending on Dalinar being I'm finally letting go of my desire to do everything myself feels so hollow because I can't think of a single situation.
I can. Unfortunately it's the Elokar thing, right? And I don't think it fits particularly well. I do agree with you, but he does not really let Elokar lead, and he beats the shit out of him to teach him a lesson, and it's very it is very much I know better, and he kind of takes control but leaves Elokar as a figurehead.
That isn't lone wolfing it. It isn't.
Well, it's taking it. Yeah, it is taking control. It's the opposite of him letting go and trusting other people to make good decisions after he's gone. Because he doesn't trust Elokar to make good decisions. He bullies him throughout the whole.
That's 5 books and 2.5 years ago.
100%. I said I agree.
And that isn't lone wolfing it because Elokar was doing a bad job. There is a difference between doing everything yourself and stopping someone from doing a bad job. Yeah. Those are not thematically the same thing. Yeah, Elhokar is objectively doing a bad job.
Yeah, but the lesson is that, like, Dalinar shouldn't have bullied him and should have guided him and been more of a mentor than, like, a fist.
Oh, Dalinar, before the books start, had fucked up.
Yeah.
Dalinar, in that moment, had already fucked up. He didn't have the option of being like, Elhokar, I need you to, like, we need to drastically change our relationship to where I'm more of a mentor, and you just need to do what I say.
Yeah.
Whether he beats Elhokar up or not, he has to drastically change Elhokar's way of acting.
Yeah. Like, for the audience, that moment should have been one of relief, as opposed to, wait, we're just kicking the can down the road?
Coconut Migrating says, I think Dalinar letting go isn't about lone wolfing. He's always been willing to delegate, but he has to always be the one deciding what to delegate. He's the one to make the decisions. I don't think that's true.
I mean,
genuinely. I think that Dalinar is the king, which is what Wit says we need. Like, Wit saying, we're not sending a soldier up, we're sending a king, tells me that the book doesn't think kings are a bad thing. Mm-hmm. But you can't, the book can't uphold the idea of a king as being this, like, noble and necessary thing for victory, and then at the same time say that Dalinar is in the wrong for making decisions because that's his job.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Typhanus says he didn't let Yasna rule without wanting to control her.
But
that's not true. He doesn't control her.
He seceded to her the entire time. He was like, I don't know if I agree with you, but you do you.
Giving your opinion isn't being controlling, though. This is my point. Yeah. Like, all of the things that you can bring up about him, like, well, but he's the one who decides what to delegate. He is the king. Like, that is his job.
Yeah.
Like, he's the bondsmith of the Radiance. Like, he is magically put in a position where he has to make decisions. Even the unite them thing is not, it's not like he chose any of this. Like, God told him to do his job.
Yeah.
And he just does his job. And then the book is like, you didn't work with people enough. And I'm like, I don't get it.
And going deeper, when he does strong arm the Stormfather, the book tells us that it was a good thing. Right? It allowed the Stormfather to find his sense of humanity again. Which the Stormfather literally says. Even though he, like, kind of hurts the Stormfather to do it. And he does do that, I guess. So you could make that as an argument to, like, having to do everything yourself. But he does try everything he can to speak with the Stormfather and coax him first. Before he's like, you can't just let this man die. You know, like, people's, like, lives are at stake.
Can I tell you why I think this doesn't work?
Yeah.
Brandon Sanderson made a huge mistake.
I know.
In the series.
Yeah.
No. But one particular mistake.
Sorry, one thing first. Blue says, speaking of reactions, anyone wanting to commission Leviathan Wakes chapters, please
let Blue know.
Talk to Blue in Discord, because we are going to be starting on that book fairly soon. We got the whole thing to read before the end of the month.
Here's where Brandon Sanderson made the mistake. Dalinar is done at the end of Oathbringer. Dalinar as a character finishes his arc with "you can't have my pain" and doesn't have anywhere to go.
Right.
And so the big emotional, like, catharsis at the end of this book should have been a different character. Because Dalinar, from the end of Oathbringer to the end of Wind and Truth, doesn't have anything to process anymore, because he processes his biggest grief and he comes to terms with it. And the only really thing left to do in his feelings about that is to deal with it with Adolin, and he never does. Mm-hmm. Right? Everyone else forgives him, everyone else is fine with him, and he spends the last 2 books being okay with who he has become.
Yeah.
And the only relationship that has somewhere to go within that anger and within his character arc is Adolin, and that doesn't go anywhere because Adolin forgives him on his own without talking to him.
They're never together.
And so, I've just been thinking about it a lot, and I'm like, what does Dalinar learn about himself after Oathbringer? Nothing.
Consent.
But he doesn't even really learn that, right?
No, I know.
Dalinar Dalinar fundamentally ends his character arc at the end of Oathbringer and doesn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah. I will say my one, like, slight, I guess, counter to what you're saying is I think that the Kaladin Zeth stuff holds the same, like, emotional height that the Dalinar stuff was supposed to. Like, I think those two are actually, like, on par for where the series was supposed to, or not the series, but this book was supposed to end. Like, that doesn't really matter because it doesn't change anything about Dalinar's stuff being unsatisfying. But I did find that the Kaladin Zeth stuff to be more emotional, especially because it wasn't, like, kind of using Gavinor almost as, like, a cheap trick. And I know it was a cheap trick. It was meant to be by Taravangian, but I think that definitely the Kaladin and Zeth stuff was the best part of this book by far in terms of a story.
I agree with you 100%, but that has nothing to do with the main plot.
Kaladin and Zeth and the fucking pact and all that shit feels like it is supposed to. I think Brandon Sanderson treated it as an aside, but it does feel like, wait a second, like, the Spren are so essential to this world, and Brandon Sanderson kind of just, like, I don't know, shuffles them off to the side.
I agree with you. It isn't the main plot. The main plot of this book, of this series, is Dalinar and Taravangian coming to this point. It is the main plot of the series. The Kaladin Zeth stuff is the best stuff, but it is not even the B plot of this book, right? It is the C or D plot.
The Kaladin Zeth stuff?
Yeah, because Dalinar and Taravangian is the A plot, and because of its relationship to the Dalinar Taravangian stuff, the Azamir, Shattered Plains, and Phalina, like, contract disputes are the B plot because they're the most related to the A plot. And then the C plot, by its nature of being completely separate, the entire book, is the C plot.
I don't know. I feel like the book tells us it's the C plot, but it does not feel like the C plot.
But that's because it's good.
But no, it's because it actually is a plot.
The structure of the book, it is not the B plot. Because it is not relating to, in the moment, the A plot. It is the C plot in that it is a plot that happens within the structure of the novel that is its own plot separate from the actions of every other character. Right? Whereas the actions of the other... the Phalina... because the Phalin battle, the Shattered Plains battle, and the Azamir battle have characters that pass back and forth between them and they interact with one another. Yasna goes to the Shattered Plains to impact that. Scar and Drehi end up at Azamir. Those things are connected and they directly relate to the A plot, right? Which is the Contest of Champions. The Kaladin Zeth stuff, in its sequestering and its lack of ability to impact any other plotline at any point throughout the story, no one ever even finds out what happens in it, right? It is so secured away that it is not. It is the C plot because it's an ability to interact with other things.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the whole point of this plot is like, we'll worry about all this later.
Titania says, I don't agree. The main plot to me is Kaladin slowly becoming the therapist the Heralds need. From the beginning of the book tells us they're crazy and the Heralds open the series. That's not what makes it the main plot of the book, though. That's
what I want it to be. I want it to be the main plot.
The main plot of the book is the thing that the
book sets up.
Well, is what the book sets up. It is also the thing where the main character of its decisions affect the most number of people, right?
Right, and which would be Dalinar.
Zeth and Kaladin's plotline is not related to anything else in the book. It is purely its own thing. And they,
say it over and fucking over again. Yeah. They're like, you're not going to be involved in the main plot. Don't even bother. And I was like, yeah, okay, but then this is the most interesting part of the book.
If you took the Dalinar stuff out of this book and put it in a novella, Wind and Truth would literally make no sense. If you took Zeth and Kaladin's plot out of the book and made it into a novella, it would be a better book.
Yes, and Wind and Truth would be worse.
You would have two separate books.
Yeah.
That are both better than this whole. Yeah. But if you take the Dalinar plotline out, nothing works. Literally nothing in the book functions. Yeah, because it is the main plot. It is what everything is around. Even the Kaladin and Zeth stuff comes down to how they react after the Dalinar stuff ends.
Well, and it's like it's them being sent by him as well. Like Yeah.
Like that, and
fascinating.
The Dalinar versus the Dalinar learning the past and fighting Taravangian is just the centerpiece of this. And yes, you can say like the beginning starts with the heralds, but the beginning of the book, the beginning of this whole series, is Gavilar dying and Dalinar receiving the message. Find the words. Like the prologue to the entire series is Dalinar getting the message from Gavilar that leads to him getting the visions that leads to all the way to this moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, Emery says the people bought the book expecting it to be about the contest. The entire structure of the book revolves around the contest, and that indicates that it is the central plot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you're right. If you took out the Dalinar storyline, like, this book literally is nonsense. It's just words on a page. But the Kaladin Zeth stuff would have been a great novel by itself. You say novella, I think it'd be a novel.
Titanic says, no, the first prologue is the heralds giving up their swords. I'm pretty sure that's called the prelude.
That is the prelude.
And the prologue is Gavilar.
Yeah. Yeah, the herald stuff is like an extra beginning.
Yes.
Which sets up...
Which is why the heralds are in the postlude, not the epilogue.
Which... yeah, sure. Yeah. Why not?
It is impressive how committed Brandon Sanderson is to structure when he commits to structure. The problem is that I wish he made structure decisions based on the story he wanted to tell, not story decisions based on the structure he committed to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
And like this book is trying to fit a structure. This book is trying to fit a structure, not a narrative.
Yeah.
And that is, I think that's a lot of reason why it doesn't like really hold together for me.
Yes. I agree. And I think that like having like this section of this series be all together and then a large weight and a leap in the middle of it might end up being detrimental to it. We won't know until the whole thing is out, but
yeah.
It is a swing that I worry is structural and non-narrative. But I don't know.
Well, and honestly, like one of the things that I find so fascinating about Brandon Sanderson as an author is that it does feel like he's online.
Yeah.
This book feels like it is trying to respond to like Reddit about the Stormlight Archive. And one of my biggest concerns for book 6 is that because the reaction to this book is what it is, and I think fairly, honestly, the more criticism I see of the book, the more I understand it, especially now I've read it. I'm like, throughout this whole process, I've been like, oh no, I get why people don't like this. I get why people are like, oh, I think I'm done with the Cosmere. Because honestly, the Cosmere connections are some of the worst stuff in this book. And like, I personally, I know I've said this before, I really don't like how big a impact Nightblood makes on these two books. Those moments are cool, but Nightblood to me just feels superfluous to the world of Roshar.
Well, because
but it's so important to all these events.
Created by someone from this planet.
Well, and they never learn anything. Like, we know more information about it than our characters do.
Yeah.
In a way that I just find very odd. And like Zyle, the creator of Nightblood, is in these books, but like
he's around.
And Nightblood is in the tower with him for a year, and that there's no impact on that. He's not like, hey, that sword is, oh shit, my sword's here. Like, it's just very odd to me that never comes up, and that Zyle is present, but like never says anything to Dalinar about it, or like there's just. Anyway, Chris Hayes, thank you for that super chat. I think you mean the Voidlight Archives. No, there's no Voidlight anymore. Voidlight doesn't exist. It's just the Warlight Archives.
No, Voidlight exists because Warlight needs Voidlight.
No, there's only Warlight now. That's the only light left. Cultivation's gone, so there's
no life light.
Yes, but
there is
Retribution
Stormlight and Voidlight.
I don't think that they can be separated anymore.
I don't know if they can be
like,
separated.
I think Warlight is the only thing left.
Yeah, I don't know if they can be separated, but you do need Voidlight and Stormlight to make that.
But
it's like what's this? It's like
I understand
Wax
what you're saying.
trying to pull apart the metals in
but
Mistborn.
But the metals don't exist on their own anymore.
But
they
only
only exist together.
But they almost do.
Right.
Wax almost
A
pulls
Voidlight
apart.
might almost exist, but it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's Lifelight in Eurythera and in Lift when she eats food. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know what? That is correct. As long as Lift is on this planet, there is Lifelight. Although, would Lift's powers stop working with cultivation leaving? I don't know.
Sir Jim says, but we don't know that Retribution has Warlight. Maybe has a new light.
I mean, they called
wouldn't the
it
new
Warlight.
light just be Warlight? Why? I don't know why the light would change when it's already a merger of Stormlight and Voidlight.
I thought they said Warlight at the end of the book. They literally bring it up.
No, the rhythm of war. She hears the rhythm of war in his pool. Then when she goes down to check the pool, she hears the rhythm of war. I don't think they ever say that Warmlight is said. No, Harmonium is a new metal. Yes, Sir Jimris, but the concept of mixing Atium and Lerasium is never brought up prior to Harmonium. Whereas we already know what the mixture of Stormlight and Voidlight is called. Mm-hmm. There's no moment in Mistborn Era 1 where they try to mix Atium and Lerasium together to make something else, and then call it something else, and then change the name in Mistborn Era 2. The first time we interact with the mixture of the metal between Ruin and Preservation in Era 2, it is called Harmonium. We already know what the light is called when it's a mixture in Stormlight Era 1. Yeah. So when we get to Stormlight Era 2, them changing the name... If there's a story reason to change the name, I'm down for that. But if they change the name just to change the name, I think that will be weird. Especially because so much of Rhythm of War is getting to the point... And look, Rhythm of War is a mess in hindsight. I think Rhythm of War is kind of a disaster of a book in hindsight, even though I do like it.
Okay, it's weird. I feel like I liked the book, and it did the worst job of setting up Book 5.
Well, and it's there's so much about Rhythm of War that I like as a book on its own.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
But it makes Wind and Truth worse, and Wind and Truth makes it worse because they're it's two books that are sequels to each other and take place within days of each other that are not in conversation with each other thematically at all.
Yeah.
It's very strange. The first 3 books feel like they're in the same series.
Yeah.
And then Rhythm of War and Wind and Truth feel like new authors came in and wrote books for the Stormlight Archive. Like, even Brandon's language of the Cosmere changes. Mm-hmm. Like, we get... Book 5 feels like it was written by somebody else. In that, there's so much sex. There's sex comedy, which feels so weird for Brandon Sanderson books.
The way that he treats
language is
delicate
weird.
Subjects is it feels more like young adult and less deep and thought through.
Arzu says new editors did come in. I understand that.
Yeah.
But editors don't write the words on the page. Mm-hmm. Right? Brandon Sanderson changed the language. I understand that an editor changes how an author will put the book together and will tell them language to maybe take out, but I don't think in Way of Kings Brandon Sanderson was writing in brainstorming or things like that,
bro.
And
I'm gonna make a whole video just on brainstorming.
It feels like Brandon Sanderson adjusted the writing of this series to criticisms he read online. And maybe, maybe his old editor would have pulled him back from those things. But there's just, there are some weird elements of the way in which the language he uses to describe this world changes across these books. It's so much so that when we get to Wind and Truth, there's some weird shit. These books do have a weird, they're trying to be very modern sci-fi fantasy, but Brandon Sanderson doesn't have, enough social activism to understand what the social activism he's trying to do in his books is sometimes.
Well, yeah, I'm hopefully the other 5 books focus on the singers, because, they didn't do much in the first half.
No. Coconut says, honestly, I get more hype for his standalones than series at this point. Era 2 and Book 5 were weaker, I agree with that. But Tress, Yumi, and Emberdark were among his best, so he hasn't lost his skill.
No, I do believe that, and I've heard that a lot of people love those. I really think this series is a bit of lost in the sauce syndrome. I don't know what to call that. it feels like it was too big. There were too many threads dropped. There were too many things that didn't come back. There were things that felt like they should have paid off and weren't, and that were sacrificed for these larger ideas that then weren't related to, like, the core of what made this planet and the Stormlight interesting was the singers and the, like, how the humans came and kind of took it over. Like, and I just, it just feels odd what he chooses to focus on in these larger stories. But I really, like, for the most part, I have quite enjoyed the standalones. Even Elantris, which we've talked about has its problems, I actually very much enjoyed reading it the whole time. I was never, like, this bogged down in the what the fuck of it all. And, you know, obviously, I think the end of Warbreaker really, like, knocks it down a few pegs for me. But leading up until that, I was really fucking in. And so I know we're taking a break from Cosmere, but I am actually very, very, very excited to go back and read the standalones.
I will say this. For how much people love the endings of Sanderson books because of, like, the excitement of the Sanderlanche, I think he's actually bad at endings. I think Mistborn Era 1 has a great ending, but I think the end of Warbreaker is, like, thematically bad.
Not great. Elantris,
even though the action,
not great.
The action and, like, the adventure part of the end of Warbreaker is great.
Yeah.
The thematic ending for the characters, I feel like, misunderstands his own book. Elantris ending with, like, a magic autism boy knowing how many steps it is to walk across a lake is very strange.
Yeah.
The ending of that book is very fun, but God, is it nonsense. Also, like, the ending hinging so much on the bad guy, I can't remember his name, being in love with the Shallan character. It's very weird. In
Elantris?
In Elantris, yeah. Remember how
Hrathen or something?
Hrathen is, like, has fallen in love with what's-her-face, and so he, like, saves her life and, like, turns. It's so tropey, and, like, it's his first book. Trust me, my first book is going to be awful. I'm not saying, but the end of Mistborn Era 2. Actually, no, the end of Mistborn Era 2 is great. It's maybe the best thing about it. So maybe I'm wrong about that.
That's true. The middle is a little messy, but the end I like quite a bit. So
maybe it's just that he's inconsistent in how the quality of his endings, I think, especially after the end of Stormlight here.
Yeah. That's fair.
Officially, Sam says, the modern language around therapy doesn't bother me. It's the translation convention, and Sanderson is writing for a modern audience. I actually don't have a problem with him using the words therapy and stuff.
No.
My problem is that the translation convention is inconsistent across the Stormlight Archive. If he used similar language for all 5 of these books, I wouldn't care which era of our modern language he used. What's weird to me is that if you read Way of Kings and you read Wind and Truth, it feels like they are using different language.
Yes, I will.
That's what's strange to me.
I don't think there was a single thing in Way of Kings that we were like, that feels weirdly modern and out of place.
No, not one.
Yeah.
And they didn't say brainstorming. But like, you know, Wheel of Time across all of those books that Robert Jordan wrote.
Yes.
They get bad. Like, they get straight up bad at the end. Until his final one, right? The language that he uses to describe that world has plenty of modern words in it that... The language across those books is so consistent that you can pick up any book in that series and they feel like the same book.
Yeah.
Right? Or not the same book, but the same world. These books don't have that, and that is unfortunate to me because I think his other books do. I think the first 3 Mistborn books have a very similar way of talking about the world of Scadrial. Yeah. I think Mistborn Era 2 has a very similar way of talking throughout those books.
Which book dropped Hat Trick? I don't remember.
Mistborn Era 1.
Was it? Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the one thing. Like, it stood out so much to you. And it was literally, like, the singular thing.
But that to me, is Brandon using a term that is less frequent in his life, so he doesn't know how big an impact that has to people that use it frequently. Does that make sense?
Or just, like, the thing behind it. Maybe, I don't... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But again, it was the singular thing that stood out.
Yeah. The hat trick line is bad, but even he was like, I didn't think that the hat trick line was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Like, even he is like, I was surprised by that one.
Yeah.
But.
Also, do we have 10 commissions for this section? first section?
I think we have more than that now.
Oh,
we just got 2 more. Yeah.
Y'all are wild. I'm so excited for DCC.
Talon Ramel says, I had an issue with one of the Brandon Sanderson real time books where I think the word chainsaw is used, which did not fit the world and really stood out to me. That's interesting.
I don't remember that. I'm so curious now.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, 10 so far. Wild. I'm so stoked.
But no, the language thing for me is just, I wish it was consistent.
Yeah.
Not that I have a problem with the language in this book. If all 5 of the Stormlight Archives had this language, none of it would have stood out to me.
Yes.
It's only that Rhythm of War is like this deep scientific discussion of rhythms and fucking, knives and anti-light, void light, all these like in this world science stuff. And then this book, Kaladin's like, I wonder what a lady who works at a library's called. And Syl's like, what about my Cholusi? I know she doesn't say Cholusi, but like the opening of this book is so jarring for that, especially because day 2 is just a lot of the weirdness of this book, language-wise, is in day 2 and not really anywhere else. It's not even like the modern language is super consistent across this book.
Nah, really brainstorming was day 5?
Sure, but day 2 had so much weirdness.
Yeah.
Queen Fen fucking in front of that guy. Like having a full Titanic where they're like in the car fucking moment.
Yeah, that was...
Day 2 is just wild, man.
Was that day 2? I thought that was later, but maybe I'm...
No. It was it was day 2 because that's when everyone is kind of together for the last time.
Yeah.
Let's get into some questions.
Hell yeah.
Oh, what would you rate? Should we quickly rate all the books? Rank them?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, we can rank them.
I feel like my ranking is really obvious.
Same.
Yeah, because it goes Oathbringer, Words of Radiance, Way of Kings, Rhythm of War, Wind and Truth. And the gap between all of those is significant enough that I don't think they'll ever shift.
Interesting.
Right? Yeah, Oathbringer, Words of Radiance. So 3, 2, 1, 4, 5. I don't even have to think about it.
No, you're right. It's just weird because I feel like the first 4 I like just so much better. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I put 5 on the...
Here's the thing. I think why I was like, wait a minute, maybe we don't have the same ranking is because I feel like I do like Way of Kings more than you do, but I would still put it after Words of Radiance. So...
Ooh, Hippo it has mine, but has Wind and Truth above Rhythm of War. Officially, Sam goes Rhythm of War, Oathbringer, Wind and Truth, Words of Radiance, Way of Kings last.
Way of Kings last. Oh, damn. Fascinating. Okay.
Chris Hayes has Words of Radiance 1, then Way of Kings, then Oathbringer, then Rhythm of War, then Wind and Truth.
I feel like I have a lot of bias towards a first book in a series, only because it's that initial hook. And I find it much harder to remember, what I liked about it, structurally over top of that initial ooh, this is really cool. That first hook is a real big one for me, and so I feel like I tend to put book 1s fairly high. Yeah, it's definitely Oathbringer. Oathbringer is my favorite. I don't know. I feel like now I have to go back and read them because I feel like I liked Rhythm of War a lot more than you did as well.
But it's not about ranking them against my rankings. It's
no, I know. I know. I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
My rankings shouldn't impact your rankings.
They don't.
You just keep bringing up that you like it more than me.
Yeah.
But how do you like them in comparison to each other?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the point. Yeah. Yeah. I think...
This is great podcast content.
I know, shut up.
Someone's in their car is my radio broken?
No. I think I think because... I think it's the same. That's really tough.
I'm glad we got there.
I'm glad we got there too. I don't know. I feel so conflicted because there are things that I love about every book, and there are things that I'm like, about every book. Even Oathbringer has that part 4 that's a little rough to get through.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do love Shalon, and I love that storyline for her.
I think all of the books have some sections where you're like, I don't know what you're doing, man. And I think that as a series, in hindsight, a lot of those sections are worse in that you go, oh, that literally didn't go anywhere. That was just information for the sake of being information. Like, some of the Stormlight Archive's biggest problems are that Brandon Sanderson really wants us to know things about the Stormlight Archive, but doesn't know how to make them plot. And it really is, it is the thing that holds this series back the most, is he has the most incredible view of this world, and the world is so cool, and he just couldn't figure out how to make things into plots. And so sometimes you just get information and it's cool, and you're like, God, this world is so cool, so maybe I am into this just being information, but then it never comes back, and it's not related to anything. And all of these cool pieces of the world, like the Pure Lake is such a cool idea that goes nowhere and doesn't exist anymore, and I'm like, it's cool that the Pure Lake exists, I guess, but like, why is it so cool and nothing happened there except for that one cool vision where there used to be a palace here, or the obsidians, and then that like never became anything.
Not
and you're
important.
Like,
Don't worry about it. Don't you worry about it.
I don't know how to interact with how many of the things in this book are just nothing ideas.
Yeah.
What if Brandon Sanderson just wrote RPG source books? The problem is nothing's really fleshed out enough for you to do that.
There are too many questions.
What's
that? What the fuck?
Yeah, someone's calling me from somewhere in the world.
Great.
Does anyone know what the 234 global area code is?
I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, it's strange. Because they texted me too. Do you know why I am texting you, dear? Are you contacted?
Oh, yeah, no, it's just spam.
What the fuck?
That's super strange.
Samantha says, oh my god, a little girl asked about what world Hoyd was talking about in a story or something, and he didn't answer her because all the clues were there, and really it was super obscure. Great. Cool, bud.
Okay, sure.
Embry says, I was going to say he's probably pretty cool as a DM, but I'd be worried about Witch showing up too much. Well, and yeah, like, it's like, I don't want to hang out with your DM PC the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that.
As a country code, it's Nigeria. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, it's not like a 3-digit area code, it's the 2. Yeah, doesn't matter. Do we want to give each book out of 10?
Yeah, I just, Titania says, I don't know, but what is the point in Lord of the Rings to have 2 big statues by the river? It's just a cool lore thing with no relation to the plot.
Yeah, but that's just scenery.
That's just scenery, though. That's not like a location that comes up multiple times that just is gone at the end of the book, but our characters never went there. But we spend multiple interludes there.
Well, and there's weird mysteries about, like, isn't there in a flashback in the Pure Lake something literally comes out of the fucking floor? Isn't that like a fucking like thunderclass? Is like it's like, oh, there's a thunderclass that lives under there too, and it's just
here. I agree with you. Here's the thing. I don't mind that the Pure Lake is like on the map of the world. My problem is that we keep going there for plot lines that don't go anywhere.
Right.
Brandon Sanderson keeps having having plots begin at the Pure Lake and mysteries start at the Pure Lake, and there's no follow-up to those things. And just, it's a thing to show the vastness of the world. Not everything has to be plot-related. But it does if you start stuff there that just doesn't go anywhere, right? Like, the 3 men in the Pure Lake looking for Hoyd, not doing anything, not finding Hoyd, and then we later find out that they're just leaving from the same place that we found them the first time. That's not making the world seem big. That's just wasting my time because they didn't do anything. We never really learned their names.
I know. We kind of
we spend time with them being like, we gotta find Hoyd, and then they don't find Hoyd, and Hoyd sends them a dick pic and they leave. And I'm like, the showing that these guys were at the Pure Lake so that they can receive a dick pic and not do anything and leave the planet is annoying. Because why are they in the book?
Well, I just think I think that there are several interludes that are like that and are very frustrating in, like, why are they in this book? Right.
But there are some interludes. Like, in hindsight, the one of Shalash destroying the museum of images of her at least relates to the rest of the book.
For sure. When we read it, we were like, what the fuck?
And
but now
that one makes the world seem vast.
Yeah.
Because it is someone doing something in a place.
Uh-huh. That then comes back later.
Every element of the Pure Lake, every time we go to the Pure Lake, it feels like a plot is starting there.
Yeah.
And there's no follow-up to them.
Yeah.
Shalash, there is a follow-up to what happened there. Mm-hmm. What happened to Shalash in the museum is related to the fact that she's trying to hide her face from the world by destroying images of her.
Yeah.
Cool. It relates to something somewhere.
Yeah.
Every single thing that happens at the Pure Lake feels like it is the beginning of a mystery that goes nowhere.
Remember the one lighthouse one? That was random. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, there's a guy in a lighthouse, and it's like, man, it sucks. Tragedies suck, but sometimes you can profit off of them.
I don't remember that. I don't even know what book that's in.
2? Is that book 2?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Wait, really?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's so random. It's basically to be like, the world is getting shiftier, and you're like, okay.
Remember the blue guy that's immortal? Who's investigating the Spren? He should have come back and helped, like, save the Spren at the end of this book.
Yeah.
There's literally
the
a guy
giant
researching
Spren in the ocean? The giant Spren in the ocean? What the fuck what? Oh.
But this is my point. Brandon Sanderson understands... Like, okay, to bring up the Lord of the Rings reference, the reason why those statues are so big and so old is so that when they pass through them, the characters understand the age of this world and the fact that civilization is dying. It is important to the plot of The Lord of the Rings that they understand that they are living in the shadows of once great civilizations. It is actually important. It has narrative purpose, right? There's so
much.
It has
emotional impact too, right? Like
there's so much of Lord of the Rings that is about them traveling through civilizations in decline because it is thematically relevant to the civilizations in decline in the world of Lord of the Rings. The elves are in decline. The dwarves are in decline. The humans are on the verge of being in decline. But if we win the war, the humans can come roaring back. That is the story of the Lord of the Rings, right? And so the scenery is a way in which Tolkien builds up that narrative thematically. And he does it so beautifully across his books. The scenery in so much of Brandon Sanderson's books are like, this culture has mustaches, and this culture has long eyebrows, and this culture, and you're like, these don't tell me anything about the cultures. I don't know why the Thalens have long eyebrows. It doesn't seem related to anything.
It is also our main characters experiencing this moment as opposed to random characters that don't mean anything and we never see again.
Well, and that, yeah.
That don't interact with the plot.
Interludes in hindsight that really work for me are the ones that thematically or narratively connect, right?
Yeah.
The two people researching the Spren so that we understand that Spren can be divided later is a great interlude because it does, look, in the moment you're like, who the fuck are these people? What's going on? They never come back.
Yeah.
But at least their research is a part of the world and the storytelling of the world.
Yeah.
So those interludes have a lot to say and are very interesting.
Do you think that
they're just not all interesting or related to anything?
Question for you and for chat. Do you think that the Ardent Smut interlude was useful?
I forgot about the Ardent that's reading smut.
Yeah. That happened. And she's like, "Oh wait,
I thought she was gonna come back. Nope. I thought
Nope.
that like predicting the storm or something would be relevant later. That went fucking nowhere. She's just on a mountain reading smut.
Yep.
That's so funny.
Yeah, totally forgot about that. Well, there you go. You're welcome. It had something to do with the Dawn Chant, and honestly, I thought that the Dawn Chant would be more important to these books.
You want to know what I was shocked by? The fact that there's a Sleepless in the tower. And that the Sleepless had no impact on this book, because it's kind of set up in Dawn. It's kind of set up in Dawn Shard that there's like a cabal of them trying to save Roshar, and they don't do anything.
Well, but that's a different book.
What are they doing?
That is a different book.
But this is the moment you think they'd get involved. Where are they? What are they doing? Typhanis says, isn't she the Ardent that is later killed by Elhokar's wife?
What? No, they're not in the same location. She's like off at the equivalent of a monastery, like studying like the Donchant in the woods. The Ardent that we see walk up to not Axeman Death, Elhokar's wife, is not the same lady who's reading smut and studying the Donchant. That's different people. The Ardent being killed by Elhokar's wife. Great interlude. Relevant to what's going on with the rest of the story.
Yeah, I don't think they're the same person.
No.
Because she's like on a mountain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. She's like...
She can only communicate by span read to like...
Yes.
Yeah. Because she's up in the Horneater Peaks, right?
Yeah, she is with other Ardents studying things. She's like basically like in school, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, the Ardent killed by Elhokar's wife, great interlude.
Yeah.
Because it just relates to something.
Yeah. 100%.
I guess the South Ardent interlude was to foreshadow the reveal of the Donchant by Taravangian. I don't know that I really needed it. I don't think you need to foreshadow that people learn how to read.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
It's fine. Look, we could go through all the interludes and rank them. Most of them, in hindsight, would get ranked much higher than when you read them. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that they're a fun read experience the first time through. And I think that if books this long are meant to be read twice, I think they need to be more interesting than this. Like, I'm going to be straight up. I can't imagine I'll read Wind and Truth again. I can't imagine I put myself through 54 hours of this a second time.
Yeah, I probably will read it one more time.
Right before book 6 comes out? Yeah,
book
maybe.
6. And that is about it. I will listen to the first 4 a lot. Yeah. I will happily put those on my working, playlist. When I'm fucking painting or whatever, 100%. I think all of those are great books that deserve rereads. I really do like the first 4 quite a lot.
I will definitely say this, though. I am worried when I go back and reread these books that I'm going to be so mad at all the plot lines he drops.
Yeah. Well, we should make a list and see if they come back in the second half.
Making a list.
You know
Checking
what I mean?
it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Taravangian's coming to town. Oh, yeah. All right, let's go with some questions here. We're an hour into the podcast, and we got to start with Zez. Zez says, with the divine power of 2 shards in his hands, do you feel it's feasible for
He's got 2 shards in his hands. What? I liked it. Anyways.
Sorry, Zez. I'm going to restart your question for you here.
Go again.
With the divine power of 2 shards in his hands, do you feel it's feasible for Taravangian to create a stone wall so honorable that it can't be blown apart with an immensely emotional yet entirely decorative explosion?
What do you think, babe?
I can go make a wall that can stand up to fireworks right fucking now. Mm-hmm. With wood. Because fireworks...
And honor.
Not great explosives. They can be destructive. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They can't destroy rock.
Well, no, Rock is dead.
Rock is not dead. He's just not in the fucking book for some reason, because Brandon Sanderson wants these books to be so random. We have to spend time with shitty fucking characters, and we don't get any Rock.
Welcome to the Rock.
I know he's going to be in the back half of the series. I get it, but
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Zetarog, thank you for your question here. How has this... Z-Run1. I was in streamer mode. Z-Run1 says, how has this book made you feel about the overall Cosmere plot and the Stormlight plot now? Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I think we're at a point now where the god rules are so arbitrary that I think I'm going to have a hard time with the Cosmere plots.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit messy.
I think when gods can't do stuff, this book made it even messier with the Carbranth is mine, so I can destroy it without consequences. Stuff was weird, but he also didn't destroy it.
Well, and he's like, oh, well, here's my explanation. But look, you can only go so far of with those kind of adjustments where it starts to become okay, well, you can just kind of fuck around with whatever.
I'm also at a point where if the big Cosmere characters view millions of people being enslaved for decades as a win because it gives them time to win in the future, it's going to be hard for me to be on their team.
Yeah.
Like Wit being like, thank God Dalinar enslaved most of the planet for a couple decades so I have time to figure this out, is a rough ending of this for me.
Yes.
And the Stormlight, Wit being so upset about the like 3 people on Roshar that he liked, but considering it like the enslavement of us entire species, a win, other than R'laine, who's the only one who is free. It's a very weird end of this book, and it makes me like struggle to empathize with the big Cosmere characters.
Yeah.
If this is what they're like okay with.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't seem to give a shit about the average person. And when the big Cosmere characters stop caring about the average person, I think that these plots become sort of the stories become numbers games.
Yes.
And it's hard to emotionally stay connected to them.
No, I agree. I think that I'm not super interested in the Cosmere plot of it all. I really like Stormlight. Like, I like these books, and I like these characters. And I don't like that the end of this book tied the Stormlight plot deeper into the Cosmere of it all, because I just find that less interesting, unfortunately.
Well, I don't like that the epilogue of this book is Wit applying for a job he had in a book that came out years before it, in a different series. Like, the epilogue of this book isn't even about Stormlight. It's literally, like, him on Scadrial applying to be Wax's driver. And I'm like, that's the epilogue of the Stormlight Archive Era 1? Really? Yeah. Is, like, previously in another series that's already 4 books in, was... And I'm like, I understand that this... But it's this... The epilogue of the Stormlight Archive is used to tell you where in the Cosmere timeline this book happens. Yeah. Not
service these stories.
Not books. To service the ending of this plot.
Yeah.
And that to me that's everything I need to know about the Cosmere. Mm-hmm. Is that the epilogue of a 5-book series is just a timestamp so that the people who love like diving into when and where the entire Cosmere happens, it's for them and not for the narrative.
Yes.
And so that's how I feel about the Cosmere plot right now.
Yes. And that's what I do find the most frustrating about the Cosmere of it all, is when things are written in for the audience and to be like, ooh, I'm very clever, instead of for the characters that I actually give a shit about and I'm invested in the moment. So, yeah, I think that this book did a disservice to both the Cosmere and Stormlight plot. Mm-hmm. But I do still want to read Stormlight. Like, I want to know. I do want to know what happens.
If we're still doing book club, I will read it. And if for some awful reason book club has come to an end by the time it comes out, I highly doubt I will.
We will be doing book club till the end of time.
But at the same time, I am excited to read Mistborn Era 3 because I really like the Lost Metal. Or
I'm more excited for Stormlight Part 2 than I am about Ghost Bloods.
What's the last one called?
What?
What's the
Lost Metal?
I can never remember what the titles of Mistborn Era 2 are. The Lost Metal is the 4th one.
Yeah.
I like the way that ended. And I want to know what happens with like that. I am far more interested in Mistborn Era 3 than I am in Stormlight Era 2.
I'm different. I'm very different.
Really?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the Ghost Bloods. I don't. Oh, I don't care.
See, I don't care about the Ghost Bloods on Roshar, but I really like... I want to see what world and government Steris and Wax build.
Here's the thing. If I had read Mistborn Era 2, and I hadn't read Stormlight, and been connected to all of the Ghost Blood stuff, I would be far more interested in the Ghost Bloods. But Stormlight kind of killed my interest in the Ghost Bloods.
That is really fair. That's really fair. Like, and it is unfortunate that the Ghost Bloods plotline sucks so much in this book, because the next series is called Ghost Bloods, but also, what's so crazy, okay, let's get into this really quick.
Oh.
Brandon Sanderson is not a very original author, in that he just repeats his own ideas a lot. Oh. And I've been saying this since Way of Kings, when I was like, oh, Shallan's introduction is just a remix of his previous female leads introductions from other books.
In Elantris, yeah.
Well, no, Elantris and Warbreaker. It's Elantris and Warbreaker mixed into one character, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a lot of ideas, weirdly. For how good he is at world building, his plots are all the fucking same. Mistborn Era 1 ends with 2 shards becoming 1. and the world drastically changing. Stormlight Arrow 1 ends with two shards becoming one and the world drastically changing. Mistborn Era 2...
Look, I think Sanderson has great ideas, but maybe just less variety.
Oh my god, I just lost my train of thought. But I had a point here that I was trying to make. There's an idea that he's repeated.
Well, Kaladin does the same thing twice in this series.
Kaladin does the same thing twice in this series. That's true. No. I had a point that I was trying to make, and I...
Whoops.
Fuck, I lost it. About him repeating something, and it was important. Damn it. Oh man, I'm gonna be so mad. Holy shit. My brain is completely gone.
Happens to me all the time. I understand completely.
Wow. Yeah. But his form is just very typical. And it's strange in that... Whatever. Oh my god. The Ghost Bloods.
Yep.
The Ghost Bloods. Thank God I got back to this. We see two characters who are honestly pretty similar characters in a lot of ways.
Which two?
Marasi and Shallan.
Oh.
They have a lot of similarities. Their relationships with their families are a little strained. They left home to go live with other people to get away from their parents. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of similarities between Marasi and Shallan. They both, in the final book of their series, mm-hmm. are off on their own side quest with the Ghost Bloods who are trying to recruit them. And in both books, they say no and walk away from the Ghost Bloods. And I just think it's really odd that it happens twice.
Fair.
Every single person we've seen the Ghost Bloods try and recruit has turned them down for some reason.
That is true, yeah.
And I'm like, why is Mistborn Era 3 called Ghost Bloods if none of the main characters who could have joined the Ghost Bloods did? Everyone turns down working with the Ghost Bloods. It's just, it's weird that those two, it's weird that Lost Metal and Wind and Truth have the exact same Ghost Bloods plotline, which is that the Ghost Bloods are like, hey, do you want to be a Ghost Blood? And it's two women being like, nah, I'm actually good, thanks. But we'll have a tangential relationship with one another for different reasons.
She leaves him in book 4, but yeah. She says no to being a Ghost Blood at the end of book 4, I thought. Shallan.
Sure.
Yeah.
But both books end, but Wind and Truth ends with Shallan saying no to Kelsier to his face, and book 4 of Mistborn 2 ends with Marasi saying no to Kelsier to his face. They literally are the same beat.
No, I am actually very disappointed that Shallan didn't end up meeting Kelsier.
But she did.
It was a Scion.
Okay, but they talk. For Kelsier, it is the longest conversation in the history of the world. But he talks to her for 6 months, and he's like, "What was the last thing I said?"
Yeah.
That's a conversation where you have to write down.
I gotta write this down because otherwise context is.
Or just ask the Scion, hey, can you replay the conversation up until this point? Because it's been 4 months since I heard from her.
Yeah. No, I think, I do think that...
It's very odd to me that both of these women turned down the Ghost Bloods, but the next series is called Ghost Bloods. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Pandoria says, favorite moment from each book. Oh, boy.
From every book.
In hindsight, book 1, Dalinar putting the sword in the ground and freeing the slaves. Freeing Kaladin. It's a banger moment.
I was gonna... Okay, let's go through them together. I'll pick... Bridge 4 saving Dalinar, the moment before.
Right.
That leads to that, because I think it's banging.
Book 2.
What happened
That's
in
tough.
book 2 again?
So many things. Honor is dead, but I'll see what I can do.
What happens in book 2?
I think Adolin locking himself up until Kaladin's free is my favorite moment of it.
Yeah.
But the Honor is dead, I'll see what I can do is so ruined for me by the whole Elhokar being like, well, actually the rules of the contest are that the way that isn't foreshadowed and is just a cop out. I don't love about it's such a banging moment. I understand it's a banging moment. For me, Elhokar announcing that Kaladin can enter after it's already happened felt very weak to me, and so I'm gonna go with Adolin locking himself up. Because that's really where Adolin starts to become my favorite character.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is absolutely fair. Yeah, it's got to be Shallan taking Kaladin's boots, you know? It's just... I'm kidding.
I'm still mad about that.
I know. What?
And for my boon...
What? Oh, yeah.
That happens in book 2.
What happened? What's book 2's, I know
I love that you can remember, like, the weird interludes that I've forgotten, but you can't remember your favorite thing from a book.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what parts are in this book in particular.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long journey.
And we're at the destination.
Yeah, so this is the one where Moash tries to kill Elhokar. And then there's a big fight with Szeth at the end as well.
Yep.
But I'm trying to remember...
Yeah, Szeth and Kaladin fight above the storm.
Yeah. And which, like, there's cool, like, action moments, but I'm trying to, like... And then how does Shallan's plotline end?
She finds Urithiru.
The problem is you took mine, so I'm gonna go with that.
Right, we can have the same one.
Yeah,
It's our favorite, not like high-low where we're trying to...
I know. I really do. In terms of, like, what it meant for the characters and stuff, yeah. I think that Adolin locking himself in protest was... Yeah, it was very well done.
Yeah. Book 3, favorite moment. I mean, it's probably You Can't Have My Pain, right?
I think...
It's hard to beat it.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to... Yeah.
Yeah. Book 4... I like that one chapter where we find out that Yasta and Wit are fucking.
Wow.
That serves no purpose to the plot whatsoever, other than so that they can break up in the next book without us really watching them have any scenes together.
Yeah, it's great. For me,
and then she's like, I wish he was here to cuddle me.
For me, it sucks because it has no impact on the greater Cosmere Stormlight plot. Sorry, not Cosmere, but the Stormlight plot. But the moment in book 4 with Raboniel's death is heartbreaking. It's so well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound Guy says, Adolin and Maya, I want to agree with you, but Brandon doing nothing with the We Chose moment after that moment really, like, it's really hurt book 4 for me.
Well, but the thing
is, the lack
like,
of that mattering or being relevant or even making sense fucking pisses me off.
Yeah, but I choose the Raboniel thing even though, like, that didn't have a huge impact either. So if it's your favorite of, like, the book, if that's the high of, like, the reading the book, I think that's fair. It's still a good moment.
Blue says, my favorite moment from book 4 is just watching Die Hard instead. Do you remember when people were like, when I said that, oh, is this going to be Die Hard in the tower? And people were like, he's read ahead. Yeah. Nerdy spoiled himself. And I was like, guys, it's just that it's terrorists in a tower. And
yeah.
People were so upset with me for
they thought you
referencing
were,
one of the most popular movies of all time.
Yeah, no, that was very funny. They're like, wait, this guy's read this before.
He referenced Die Hard. How does he know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a tower. And they're in it. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Kaladin's alone in a tower. People are so... Those comments cracked me the fuck up.
Yeah. I'm so curious to actually go back and watch our other full book recaps to see if our favorite moments changed from immediately reading it to then what we remember months or years later.
You talking about going back and watching the show. A thing I have never done.
No, I mean, I'd be curious to
Yeah. Well, no, I know. So you sometimes listen to it, which I...
The show?
Yeah.
Not really.
I've
done it like maybe twice.
They're just so long. I don't know how any of you listen to this show. Favorite moment from book 5.
What did we say on
Oh, no, wait. I didn't give my serious answer for Rhythm of War, did I? For Rhythm of War, I think I'm going to go with Adolin saving Notum. That scene fucks.
Oh, yeah.
That scene fucks hard.
Yeah,
I really like that. Yeah. And Adolin and Maya, like, their katas matching. That I actually think I like them when Maya matches his kata in the fight and helps him fight. That I like that moment more than We Chose even in the book. I think it's that to me is so much about the relationship, and I just love that moment so much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, David. What the fuck happened to him? I don't know, man.
No clue.
He's forgotten about.
Apparently, it doesn't matter.
Book 5. What's your favorite moment?
I don't know. What did you say on Wednesday? I can't remember.
On Wednesday?
Yeah, we did this book club 2 days ago.
Yeah, but that was only for the last
Oh,
bit.
but we did it for the section. You're right.
Oh, what's your favorite moment of the whole book?
I'm
not gonna lie. The Zeth Shadesmar fight is pretty banging.
It is.
When Posen sends him into the Shadesmar and he has to fight the Elsecaller.
Yeah, in terms of action, I think it's...
That scene, that's probably my favorite action scene in the book. My favorite moment from the book is when you come back to day 6, I think it is, and it's like, Sigil killed Yelignar off screen.
Oh my god. Yeah. Brutal.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening? You killed an unmade off screen? Wild.
Yeah, Talon fight off screen.
My favorite moment from this book, for comedy reasons, might be Shallan lying on the floor of a shower with her friend being like, you got fucked. You got fucked.
I need that fan art. You know what I mean?
That is one of the funniest, like...
Shallan!
They're just like applauding her for getting fucking blasted.
Who was I talking? So I was talking to someone at the New Year's Eve party.
Yeah.
Who was it? I think it was...
I don't know.
I think it was Pinky.
Okay.
Because we were talking about these. And I was trying to remember the one-liner that Pattern had that was so funny.
Oh, he has some good ones in this book.
About the I have eyes. What's something that makes me feel like I have eyes?
Oh, I like staring because it makes me feel like I have eyes. Yeah.
That's my favorite moment of the Stormlight Archive.
In this book, some brought up, Chris Hayes brought up Silical dancing. I agree with that. That moment's pretty banging. Yeah,
I'm honestly having a tough time picking my favorite, like, Zeth Cal plotline moment. Because I think the other plotlines, again, that have cool things. But the moments that I keep remembering, that I keep coming back to are... You know, Zeth sitting with the stew with Kaladin after Nail walks away. Like, Zeth, like, questioning Nail on certain things and then having those conversations. And so I feel like it's not a specific moment. But I do really feel like it is the change in Zeth in Book 5 that is my favorite part about it.
I know what my favorite part of this book is.
Oh.
Adolin going through the middle of the Oathgate platform and then turning around at the end of the fight and Mask is just standing there.
Hey,
legitimately, I think that is my favorite moment in the whole book. When he's like,
great. That is great.
Why the fuck are you here?
Well, and then when he finds out why,
it's so followed up well.
Good. Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
No, I without a doubt, Mask just being there when he turns around is so fucking funny, but it's also so beautiful. Like, it works on every level for me.
Yeah.
Pink Armando says, this is more a question for Brando Sando, but why is Nail so obsessed with Shin people laws and claims they are godly? Shouldn't the Makabaki laws be held more sacred since they descended from, like, his father or Uncle Makabak or whoever, and Makabak was the only man who was given gifts from honor god instead of odium god?
It's a great, great point that you make.
The lack of Nail being descended from the people that fought on Honor's side the whole time, being
doesn't
relevant
matter
to anything, is a frustrating thing for me.
Like, I feel like that should have been such an interesting point in the spiritual realm stuff. But
it's just it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Like, did Honor give him the same powers Odium gave the other heralds in the pre-war before this war? I don't know, man. I agree with you. I don't...
Well, he clearly got division. I think the problem with Nail is that he's the one that was given division, and division is what burned the world. Right? Because he's a skybreaker.
I'm okay. We're gonna get into some like genetics here real quick, and I'm not trying to be racist, I promise. But if all of the humans came through together, and there were barely any Makabaki people, they're not called the Makabaki, but they're now the Makabaki.
They are now Makabaki, yes.
Just with how genetics works, why are the Makabaki people still black?
Because they fucked off. They did their own fighting. And they fought one another for a while. I don't know how long. But
I get that. I do understand that.
No, Nail has like.
It's been like 10,000 years. Did they move to a place? So did they come through the portal and fuck off immediately?
It seems like
because it seems like all the humans were stuck together.
Yeah,
but no, but like, so one of the weird things about this book is that the human beings all come through this portal together. They get stuck in one place by the singers.
Yep.
And then some of the humans go west and become...
The Shin?
No. So the people who stay in Shinovar become white people.
No, they were already white before.
So the people fleeing their home planet came through and then segregated by race?
Yes.
Did enough people survive that they were able to segregate by race and colonize the planet based on race?
Also, where did the eyebrows come from? Like, what genetic
this is
mutation
what I don't know. This is why this is my question. They were corralled into one country altogether for a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
Thousands of years.
Yeah.
But within where they were corralled, they maintained racial lines so strictly that the racial structure of their previous planet holds 10,000 years later without... I understand that Brandon Sanderson wants this planet to have, like, racial lines within Roshar.
Yeah, for sure.
But everyone is descended from people who came from a portal and lived in a country together.
Yeah.
Why are the racial lines on Roshar so strictly drawn by country when you're all descended from like 5,000 people who survived? Like, it is just very odd to me.
Well, I literally want to know where the eyebrow mutation came from. Like,
and why?
Were people like, damn, that's hot? And it became a whole race of people because everyone like fucked these people with this specific mutation?
But the idea that the idea that Nail's descendants kept their genetic... The reason why I say this is, like, if you look at, like, we've only been living in, like, real, like, interracial relationships for a while, and there's already so many mixed
for us, it's
race people.
For us, it's hundreds of years. For them, it's 10,000.
But it's 10,000 years, and everyone was funneled into one country together.
Yes.
And then they separated and managed to keep the pre-portal racial lines so strict that Nail is still genetically looks like a Makabaki person.
Yeah, even though the Makabaki people should kind of maybe look nothing like him at this point.
I just think there is a story here about how the, like, races of I keep calling it Aloysius, and I know that's not what it's called. Alashwa. About how they went through a portal after a planet-wide disaster, and then for 10,000 years refused to breed with other people from other races, but colonized the whole planet along their previous planet's racial lines. And I just think that's wild.
Yeah.
There's, like, no mixed heritage people in these books.
No, not really.
There's none.
The closest thing we get is Shallan is like, yeah, I have red in my hair from my, like, from where does that come from? It's like from not being like pure.
No, it's from that. It's from being part horn eater.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe there's like some kind of crossover with the Iriali. And here's the thing: the Iriali being completely different with like gold hair and shit, they come from somewhere else, right? They were not in this funnel. I don't think. I think Spren fucking booped them onto this planet a while ago, and then they booped them off. So them being different actually is fun and interesting.
Oh, no.
But everybody else, I'm like, what?
But, like, these
What about the blue people?
These are populations.
What about the blue people?
These are populations that have been destroyed and, like, that have gone through desolation after desolation after desolation. The idea that the genetics would run along these country lines so strongly, I just find it very... Yeah. Strange.
Chris actually makes a good point, but the red hair is from her mom, who was a herald. Yeah.
Well, no, the story that we're told is that it's because she's part horn eater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, red hair is a recessive gene, so red hair will die out over time, right?
Well, no, it is a mutation that can keep happening.
Yeah, there's a chance of that. But the reason why the red hair, there are pockets of populations that have red hair because people within those populations both have red hair on both sides.
Yeah.
But as we go out and out and out and out, as we kind of intermingle our culture, which we're doing now.
Yeah.
Red hair will decline. There'll be less red-haired people.
I just mean you can be
because
born
people
with...
who both have red hair possibilities in their genetics are having sex with each other less.
Yeah. But no, what I'm saying is can't... like a person could potentially be born with red hair, having none on either side because of the mutation.
An individual, yes.
Yeah.
But the chances of having like large pockets of population, like the Irish, or like there's a culture in somewhere in like Southeast Asia that have red hair.
Oh.
The seeing like pockets of populations all have red hair will become less common because it's a recessive gene. Even though individuals with red hair will continue to pop up because that recessive gene will like popcorn, like pop up in little places.
Yeah.
You won't have communities of people with red hair because communities of people with red hair aren't all fucking each other the way that they used to.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, towns of people with red hair involve those people mostly having sex with other people with red hair, right? The Y chromosome will eventually die. Yes, that is true.
Wait, what?
So the Y chromosome in humans will eventually is a degrading chromosome, and so there will come a point in the future where
Isn't that so? There will be no men.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like legit.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's something that like we don't need to solve for, but there is a potential in the future that humans will have to evolve to either breed in another way, which we're already doing. We already have science where we can turn an ovum into a sperm so that two women can have a child together.
Yeah.
So we are actually already kind of solving for that problem, but genetically, naturally, the Y chromosome would degrade over time and eventually disappear.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So why the last man is actually
Yeah, it wouldn't happen that way, but
No, I know.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a fascinating thing. I'm not a scientist. I don't really understand it, but really smart people have told me that is a true thing.
Well, and I honestly feel kind of cheated because I did enjoy like biology when I was in high school, and I've kind of found out
I thought you were about to say I did enjoy the Y the Last Man comic, but that TV show was terrible.
No, I didn't read it. I really enjoyed biology when I was like in high school, and now I've learned that a lot of what I learned about genetics from 10 plus years ago is very incorrect.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's just science.
I know, but now I'm like, I need to actually go like figure out what's true because I have knowledge in my head that's not. And it's stuck there from a formative time in my life where I'm like, right, I actually don't understand anything.
Yeah, but we don't understand. Like we are learning stuff all the time. You know what I mean? Like humanity, one of the problems with humanity is that we're like, oh man, these scientists, man, they keep coming up with new things. I can't trust them. Yeah. But the scientists are doing really good work and learning new things. And sometimes they're wrong. Scientists being wrong isn't a conspiracy.
No. And I'm definitely not saying that it is. But
we're just learning. We're growing. And we make mistakes. And that sucks. And sometimes when scientists make mistakes, a lot of people die. And that's terrible. But like the idea that we should go backwards is so fascinating to me because there are people who are like, man, we take all these vaccines. Like when I was a kid, we didn't take all these vaccines and I'm fine. And I'm like, yeah, but when you were a kid, like 30% of children under 5 died.
Yeah.
And that's not true anymore.
You just weren't in school yet, so you didn't know them.
So many children used to die that don't die anymore. It's a fucking miracle.
Yeah.
And people are like, God, these vaccines, they're causing me to have whatever side effect. And it's like, I understand that your individual side effect affects you deeply, and I'm so sorry for that.
Yeah.
But so many children under 5 used to die that do not die anymore, and that is a miracle. And so, yes, there is the...
Isn't there a measles outbreak in Florida right now or something?
There's a measles outbreak in Montreal right now because the fucking French are being stupid. Take the measles vaccine. It's a goddamn miracle drug.
Yeah.
It prevents measles 97% of the time. And people are like, well, what's the point if 3% of the time if 90% of the people don't get measles, the chance of it getting passed around is basically 0. Yeah. Like, we gotta fucking, so many children don't need to die.
Yeah.
And like, I don't understand why people are like, oh man, the vaccine hurt my arm for 3 days, so I'm not gonna get it. But children aren't dying, and you're a selfish little cunt.
Mm-hmm.
Get over yourself.
Yeah.
People don't understand how many kids used to die. Like, people really don't understand how many kids used to die every day that live now. And it's a fucking amazing thing that we've done.
Yeah.
It's amazing what we've accomplished.
Yeah.
But God, if I get the sniffles, these scientists are all evil and in some fucking cabal.
I know.
As if keeping all these kids alive and the scientists are in an evil cabal makes any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really tough to, have certain conversations with people online that just, it's selfish.
Yeah.
It's selfish. That's what it is, unfortunately.
Second question Pink Armando's asked is, why isn't Nail more different from the other heralds? Oh, we kind of already got into this. He was given magic from Honor originally, not Odium, unlike seemingly the rest of the heralds, although we know nothing about most of them. I mean, he is very different from the rest of the heralds in that he is relevant to the plot of the books.
Wow.
I mean, Nail is the most plot relevant character.
Yeah.
Of the heralds.
Well, and I do actually wonder how much Nail is, like, personally responsible for Ashen Burning. We don't really...
Almost 0%.
What? Well, but he is a Skybreaker, and Skybreakers have division. So is he one of the people that had division? And because we know it's division that fucked up Alashwa, right?
I don't think Nail had powers in that fight. I thought his father did.
No. Nail was given magic from Honor because he was black, remember?
No, Makabak was. His father or his uncle.
Nail was there. Makabak died.
No, so he died at the end of the fight, though. All of them had division back then. The heralds didn't exist at that point. Like, the two power system, everyone had all the surges in the fight on Alashwa.
So Honor bopped over and gave him the exact same powers that Odium gave?
We don't really know. We don't really know, right? And honestly, like, the surges are kind of bullshit anyway.
Well, I feel like the whatever Honor gave them should have been different than what Odium gave them. Like, why just copycat? Like,
well, but we do know that Odium gives different powers than Honor does. Because the fused powers are fundamentally not the surges.
But the fused powers do not come into play until we get to Roshar.
We don't know that.
I don't think there's any mention of any fused in anything.
No, I'm just saying the way that the fused use Void Light is different than the way that Radiants use Stormlight.
Yes, but I'm not even talking about
I'm saying
Roshar
that we don't know enough about, because the flashbacks didn't actually tell us anything of value. We don't know what the war was like.
That's true.
The fact that we watched the flashbacks of all of this from God's perspective and we can't answer this question is kind of why I hate the flashbacks in this book.
Yeah.
I'm like, you told me so little about anything. Like, the book tells me that Honor gave Makabaki powers because they were black. It does not tell me what those powers were or, like, how they led to the downfall of... The fact that we don't really know what powers destroyed Alash was so wild.
Well, because here's my question.
It just happened.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Would Alasha have burned if Honor hadn't given other people powers? Like, did it burn because Honor intervened in a way? Because he bopped over and didn't really understand. Did he give them different powers? Because he wasn't there, did it come from something else? Like, I don't know. I think that's really interesting, and I have literally no idea.
Soronian, not to go back to this, but Soronian brought up a part that I skipped over. Soronian says, the continent of Roshar is about as wide as Eurasia, so there's a lot of space for people to look different. Just to go back to that point really quick, I understand what you're saying. My problem with it is that all of humanity was cycled through one portal in one part of Shinovar.
And they all
fought thousands of years of war to take over the whole planet, but kept their racial lines to the races that they were in Alashwa. And there was very little... there was not enough bleed for a long enough time that there are mixed race people.
Yes.
Except for the people whose... we don't need to keep going over this. It's just very strange to me.
We know for a fact there were several generations that all lived together on this really poor land.
Yeah.
So, however long that was is...
It is a similar plot weirdness to me to, like, the... oh my god, the fucking... What are the insect-headed fucking people in Wheel of Time called? The
Shan-Chan?
Yeah, the Shan-Chan speaking the same language as the people of Randland when they've been gone for 2,000 years.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's the same thing of, like, this doesn't really make any sense anymore, but, like, whatever, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Arzu says, favorite flashback story from all the books.
Favorite... Obviously, it's Szeth book 5.
That's your
Venli book
favorite?
4.
That's your second favorite?
No, sorry. I'm going through the...
I was like, that's your ranking. Wow.
No. Book 3 is Dalinar.
Yep. Book 2 is Shallan. Book 1 is Kaladin.
My favorite.
I'm going to rank them.
I'm going to say it was Szeth until I had all these questions about how the fuck they managed to convince him he was truthless.
I'm going to go Dalinar 1, Kaladin 2, Szeth 3, Shallan 4, Venli 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go Shallan number 1, Dalinar number 2, Kaladin 3, Szeth 4, Venli 5.
Oh, so the only difference between us is how much we like the Shallan one.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Cool. Arzu also asks, you can only keep one character's storyline from start to finish in the first 5 books, and all the rest are POVs for the story are annihilated from your mind. Which character's story do you keep, Adolin?
You can only keep one character's storyline from start to finish of over 5 books. God damn. Well, if you'd asked me after book 3, I would have said Shallan, but there's, literally no way. Adolin...
You get a lot of Shallan if you keep Adolin, though.
Well, yes, that's true. But for this story to make sense, if you took everything out, what the fuck is left? It kind of has to be Kaladin, I think.
I think that Kaladin's storyline on his own, to me, is too depressing. It's just not...
Sure, but I don't think Adolin has enough of a storyline on his own for 5 books.
I do. I think that Adolin's growth is really great. I think that Adolin's connection to other people...
Yes, I'm saying it would fill maybe 2 novels. Stretch it over 5 books. I don't think there's enough there.
Sure, but I think that Kaladin literally spends 3 books being this great soldier, and then you have a weird book where Kaladin is depressed in a tower with doing that, and then you have this 5th book where Kaladin becomes a therapist. I think Kaladin's plot lines get weirdly disconnected, and I think that you end up sort of bouncing around plots and different Kaladins almost. And I don't know that the through line of his story necessarily makes the most sense. If I was reading the Kaladin books and Kaladin became a therapist in book 5 and shuffled off to not be part of the main plot, I would be like, what the fuck is happening? Whereas at least Adolin, he is always part of the main plot, and...
He wasn't really that part of the main plot in this book.
If I was reading the Kaladin books and Bridgefour disappeared after book 3, I would be like, what am I even reading?
Okay, that's fair. Bridgefour
and Kaladin not having a moment together after book 3 is so wild to me.
Yeah.
They kind of do at the beginning of book 4, but
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I guess I'll go with Dalinar, because it feels like a complete story, even though I like Adolin better as a character.
Kaladin in book 5 going, I can't believe Tef died 2 days ago, and then never bringing him up again. It's all right. It was 48 hours ago.
Wild.
I would keep Adolin. I think Adolin's is the best through line through it all, and ends with him alive and with hope and I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
It's the most hopeful. It's the most
even though it breaks all the rules.
Community building and Pilks asks, to what level do you agree with fuck Moash, and what was the worst thing?
10 out of 10. Fuck Moash.
Yeah, I agree with fuck Moash. I wish he was in the end of the book somehow.
Yeah.
The worst thing about Moash is that he is just...
Is it hashtag
gone?
fuck Moash, or is it fuck off Moash? Because he literally just fucked off.
The worst thing about fuck Moash is that he becomes a Cosmere character. And Moash is the most connected to Kaladin's... This is why the Kaladin storyline doesn't work for me in the end. Because Kaladin and Moash don't have a resolution.
Yeah.
Moash becomes Marsh. He becomes a Cosmere character.
Yeah.
And at least Marsh has a resolution in Mistborn Era 1. Moash just doesn't. It's so weird. It's so strange that Moash just disappears for the end of this book.
Yeah.
Arzu says, do you think Sanderson can recover from the mess of book 5 with Stormlight 6? Can he? Yes.
I think it's possible.
I worry that he is Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No.
I worry that he is the kind of author who will attempt to make the criticisms right and not just write the book.
Well,
and that's my biggest concern for Stormlight 6.
And my concern, similarly, is that the Cosmere of it all is going to continue to undercut the Stormlight as a series.
100%, yeah.
I think that's tough. I don't... After having read so much Sanderson, it feels like he cares more about the Cosmere than he does about individual stories. And that is less interesting to me personally. I understand there are a lot of readers out there who the Cosmere of it all is why they love this. But for me, it's not it. It really takes me out of the story that is trying to be told.
Well, I think that Stormlight 6 is going to start narratively when Wit can make it back to Roshar. And my problem with that is, well, I mean, Wit has been the epilogue of every Stormlight book. So, Wit being I'm not going to be able to go back for a while. I think the time jump between Stormlight 5 and 6 happens because it's when Wit is away from Roshar. Right?
Yeah.
And so the problem I have with that is that Wit's ability to interact with the plot is a arbitrary meta thing that Brandon Sanderson uses to control this character he's created that's too powerful.
Yeah.
But he also clearly wants Wit to be deeply connected to the Roshar plotline.
Yeah.
And I don't think that more of that is going to be enjoyable to me. I would rather Stormlight come back with no Wit. Wit never comes back to Roshar.
Yeah.
And what do they do to fight without him? Breaking the fourth wall for us so much. But I do fear that Stormlight 6 is going to be hampered by Brandon's attempt to retroactively fix Stormlight 5, as opposed to just continuing to move forward and writing a really good book. And I think that's going to be a really difficult...
Yeah, I think it's possible.
I think it's going to be difficult, for him in particular.
Yeah, but I do think it is possible, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the best thing he can do is just move on. And not worry about the criticisms of this book, but just try and write it. Yeah, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, because it does seem like he is aware. It seems like he's highly aware of what people say about his books.
Yeah, he's very online.
Yeah.
And that can be a positive, right? That can be a good thing.
Yeah.
But not always. Ziran asks, how do you feel about the plot line of the Ghost Bloods over 5 books?
I mean, it's one of the worst things Brandon Sanderson's written.
I don't like it. You can take it out.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't care.
I think it's an unbelievable waste of page. And it's a waste of Shallan, who had become such a good character by the end of Oathbringer.
Yeah.
The Marays should have died at the end of Oathbringer. And maybe Shallan does keep interacting with the Ghost Bloods in that she moves on to sparring with Yaddle.
But it's not her
But it's just that from book 2 to book 5, Shallan and Marays go through this pointless interaction of whatever their relationship is. And it never changes or goes anywhere. They're just in the same sort of not trusting each other fight for so long.
Yeah.
And there's no new information in it.
Like it.
It just doesn't do anything. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it becomes what it is.
Shallan's at her best in book 3 when she's interacting with the main plot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not the Ghost Bloods.
Ziran's other question here is, with Kaladin stepping in as a Dark Eyes Herald, do you think Brandon can write a satisfying conclusion to the Dark Eyes Light Eyes situation in your eyes? No, he doesn't care about that, so he's not going to.
It feels like it doesn't mean anything. He keeps putting it in there with nothing, with no with no commentary, with no nothing.
It's exposition without theme. There's no thematic. Kaladin does not bring up the Dark Eyes Light Eyes thing this entire book, and then at the end, Syl's your eyes are dark again, and he's like, oh great.
Yeah.
I'm going to go off to another planet where that doesn't matter. And no one's going to know that my eyes are dark again.
Yeah.
It's sort of a meaningless moment in that what does it mean to Kaladin for his eyes to be dark in this moment? Kaladin didn't seem that upset that 3 books ago he cared that his eyes became light because he was a herald or because he was a radiant. That I don't think that comes up one time in That's not the plotline of this book.
And none of the characters have a conversation about it, really.
No.
Like, Dalinar kind of is like, oh my gosh, this herald has dark eyes. That's so crazy. And that's like the most, that's kind of like the biggest moment that there is about it. And
But that's what I mean about, like, Brandon Sanderson wants to write this racism into his book. And he wants it to inform the world. And he wants it to, like, impact his main characters, but he doesn't really want to get into it ever. And so it just feels very hollow. And so even this moment felt a little hollow to me. It's a beautiful moment for Kaladin if you, as a reader, construct a narrative around it. But the narrative of this book does not construct anything for you.
Yeah.
Like, the reader has to do so much work to make this a cool moment, because Kaladin has not brought up being a dark-eyed person in the rest of the novel.
Yeah.
Like, Szeth and Kaladin, despite the fact that they were both slaves, they never discuss... One of the things about the therapy in this book that's so odd to me is that they were both slaves for different reasons, and neither of them ever talk about it.
Yeah.
That never comes up.
Yeah.
Kaladin never tries to empathize with Szeth by talking about, like, the fact that how dark-eyed people are treated, or if Kaladin had been talking in this book about what it meant to him to be dark eyes, and that's one of the ways he related to Szeth, I think this moment would have hit really hard. But Brandon Sanderson never actually brings that up in the novel.
Yeah.
Skin instead of eyes. Oh, thank God, I'm black again. Yeah, Chris, that is kind of what the moment is. Like, Syl being like, you're black again.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I had, there was a graphic novel I wanted to write. I don't think I ever, maybe I will, but I'll bring up the concept here, because I whatever. My idea for it was a superhero team. And all of the superheroes on the team were white men. And this young black kid gets powers and gets immediately found by the superhero team and, like, brought into the fold. And he finds out that they're not actually all white men. They wear a device that makes them appear to be white men, because when the superhero team first started out, they were the black and female members of the team were targeted more than the white members of the team, right? And so as a defense mechanism, this team started to... Their way of handling that was to make them all appear white. And so what the graphic novel was about how that choice to defend the minorities within the group by making the world think that they were all white men, so that, you know, no one would attempt to rape them and single them out, led to the world becoming more racist.
Yeah.
Because all of their heroes were white.
Yeah.
And it was really a criticism of the point of the comic was to be a criticism of the way pushing that image led to these negative plot lines, which is kind of what Brandon Sanderson does with the concept of people becoming radiants back then, made them racist toward dark eyes. The thing is, that's what my whole pitch for the comic book is about.
Yeah, it's the central
and
theme.
Here it's just this, like, weird background thing, even though in this world, like, there are other races. Like, weirdly, there are other races of people.
Yeah.
And so, like, the racism of Alethkar is very strange.
Well, and, like, you know, there has been this question looming over all 5 of these books of why the Radiants turn light eyes, but the Heralds can have dark eyes. And it's never addressed.
Never addressed. Yeah,
like, we don't even know what it means. We don't even know what the using the surges, why it lightens your eyes. Like, it's never...
Oh, it's because you have Stormlight in them. The Stormlight is bright, and so it makes your eyes lighter.
But the even if you're not holding Stormlight, they're still dark. Or they're still light.
I mean, I don't know. But again, it's a weird racism that Brandon Sanderson created but didn't want to get into too much, so it just kind of disappears until it is the capstone of Kaladin's moment, and you're like, oh, that's kind of sweet. It doesn't mean anything to anything, but, like, it is, I guess it's a sweet moment. Yeah. Which is kind of that's how I responded. I was like, oh, yeah, oh, that's kind of sweet.
That's cool, yeah. All right.
No one knows, so it doesn't, like, affect anything, because no one knows that Kaladin's a herald. So
that's true, yeah. So it doesn't matter.
It's just sort of like a moment for Kaladin to be like, oh yeah, my eyes used to be dark.
Yeah.
I'm going to have them burned out of my skull now.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's the immediate follow-up. She's like, your eyes are bright, or your eyes are light. And then the next time, your eyes are dark now. And he's like, oh, cool. And then it cuts away. And then when it cuts back to him, he's like, and then I became an immortal, and I felt my body burn away, and my eyes burned out like I'd been stabbed by a shard blade. Like, literally the next moment we spend time with him after his eyes are dark, he describes his eyes burning out.
Yep.
So, like, his eyes are dark for the moments before he has them violently and painfully burned out of his skull.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
So it's like a sweet moment. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Light Eyes Dark Eyes thing. Again, when we get him back in the next book, humanity's gonna have been so fucked for a decade that I imagine the racism will be worse, because that's generally what happens, right? Like,
yeah,
in the aftermath of disaster, people who already have wealth, become more. Everyone's gonna have slaves again. Weirdly. That's the win at the end of this book. John Stormlight, thank you, John Stormlight, says, having been a fan of the show since the Wheel of Time trailer view, it's rather surreal to see you at a point where I can ask you the same questions the superfans have been debating since Win and Truth released.
Wild.
We got here.
Wild. We made it. We made it, chat.
That in mind, so Stormlight is gone. The postlude to the Stormlight Archive has been read. Should the back half be Voidlight Archive or Wordlight Archive? We already kind of talked about this. I don't think it should be Voidlight Archive. Because Odium being able to separate his own light into two different lights would imply that Stormlight should still exist somewhere.
And if that's intentional, then that's kind of interesting. But
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends. It depends if Voidlight can exist by itself in the books. Okay. Which I think that it should, because I think that there should be a way to get Stormlight back. So, I don't know.
I'm going to read a Malazan book just to piss you guys off now. They're like, Malazan is 100% not for nerdy.
Yeah, that's why they're saying that.
It would be fun to watch them read a Malazan book. That's fair.
Yeah.
I could just go rewatch them hating Crossroads of Twilight.
It's reverse psychology, babe.
Gryback says, I think the Stormlight can exist using techniques they use in Rhythm of War. I agree with you, Gryback. I think that it can exist. You can separate them. I don't think separating them is an efficient enough process that it would make sense to do it. Like, Navani spent, like, minutes filling one sphere with Stormlight.
Yeah.
I think, like, the process of separating them at the scale that the Radiance would need it, I don't know.
I don't know either.
You would need, like, Stormlight factories. Like, the scale of that operation would have to be so massive.
Yeah.
Cradle's not meant for nerdy. Well, we know that. Were you not here for Cradle Book Club? I'm gonna reread that book. Well, I'm gonna give it a second shot.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was such a pissy little bitch for that book club. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try it again. During Nights of Wind and Truth, this is Johnny Stormlight's next question. During Nights of Wind and Truth, Masha daughter Shaliv refers to Yasna as head of our order. Is Masha an Elsecaller? Are the Veristitalians relevant again? A mystery third option. Well, so this is interesting. I think it's Veristitalians.
What does that mean?
Because she's writing a book.
I
feel like the fact
know what that word means.
What?
But don't know what a Versatilian is.
What is Yasna's Versatilian?
I've literally never heard this word before. Like an Elsecaller? Babe, you can't say that. Why?
Because it's in the book. It's in these books from book 1.
It looks like Versit Italians. I don't remember.
Is this Clarus's 2 on his black moment?
No, I don't remember this word.
Yasna is a Veristitalian.
She's not in this book.
But Yasna's a Versatilian from book 1 to now. It's her order of, like, scribes and people. Wait,
her 2 spies?
No, all of the people she does history with. From book 1 to...
You mean the, like, random people she, like, had as spies that she was writing to?
No.
They're not relevant. They never come back. That's the name of the, like, group that she has?
I think Versatilian is said in every novel. I think it's in all 5 books. Yasna versus Italians. But the Veristitalians are the philosophy order that she's a part of from the very beginning of the series. It's the people that she writes to, and that she's like. I think the first time we meet her, she describes herself as a Versatilian.
I don't know what that word means, so I guess it didn't stick.
That's why it said.
I thought she's like, I am an atheist, like.
Yeah, but wow, that's wild. I think it's said in every. I think it comes up in every book. It's just about to me that you're like, I've never heard it before. I don't recognize the name, so I'm not sure if it's ever mentioned in the early books. No, it absolutely is. It's like the group she's a part of. The Versatilians. It's all the smart people.
All right.
They write to each other about the Voidbringers, and she's like, I gotta check in with the Versatilians, and then there's a whole sequence where they're writing back and forth.
Yeah, I said it's her little spy club.
They're not spies. They're like
They
scholars.
They're spies.
No, they're not spies. Some of them are like just read books and like have a bunch of knowledge. They're not spies. They're historians.
They are never relevant since that moment they have a conversation. So
wild. Anyway, the answer to the question is the Versatilians. Masha, daughter, shall leave, partially because I don't think that anyone can become a new Radiant, particularly in Shinovar.
Well, unless she's writing this from Urithiru.
She can't get into Urithiru.
Oh, yeah, no one can get in or out.
Well, actually, no, that's not true. Oh, that's not true.
Why? There's a bubble around it.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Szeth can get in.
Why?
Because Nightblood can give him all the surges, which means that Szeth is the only person who can else call. So Szeth can, using Nightblood, get into Shadesmar and get out of Shadesmar. Oh, Szeth is...
Urithiru?
Yes.
Maybe.
Because the bubble is only on the physical realm side.
You're sure about that?
Yeah, because Shalon goes there. Or someone goes there. Maya goes there.
Maya?
Maya goes to... That's how the people in Urithiru know that Adolin's alive, is because Maya walks there and back. Szeth can, using Nightblood, go into Shadesmar and out. So that's how Masha knows how to talk to... Because there's no span reads anymore, right? Because there's no Stormlight.
Yeah.
So the only way that Masha can know Yasna is if she's communicating somehow. Well, actually, no, they can honestly, all of the span reads are probably retrofitted to use Warlight pretty quickly. It makes sense that they would just... The span reads would work. Span reads would actually work. Versatilian is mentioned 5 times in the first book. That's very funny.
2 years ago.
I know, but it's been mentioned in the book since. Span reads probably can be... Everything can be retrofitted with Warlight pretty quickly. So the span reads probably do work. But yeah, I don't think that she's an else caller. I think that because she's writing this book, she's a Versatilian. I think it's the only thing that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I don't know. But like you said, if Szeth can get into Urithiru, she could be an else caller.
I understand that, but the context of the epigraph is that she is a nerd who's writing the history, which is literally the purview of Versatilians. Being a historian and writing this down is what Versatilians do.
I thought they were philosophers, not historians.
They're scholars. They're the atheist scholars of this world.
Okay.
And so the context of the epigraphs makes sense that she's a Versatilian, because if she was an else caller, she probably doesn't have time to be writing books.
Well, and it makes sense that Szeth's wife would be an atheist.
Fair. I'm gonna go pee.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, I literally don't remember that word. Apparently it wasn't relevant. I think it would just be that the Radiants that can't access their surges and their spren. Oh, so you do think that the Fabrials will be able to work with Warlight. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to be, other than Odium just deciding to not make them work because he has complete control over it now that he has 2 shards, but I'm not 100% sure. John Stormlight says, back to the nerdy nightly traditions. Given retribution and his goals for cosmic domination, do you now understand why Harmony is worried that the people of the basin aren't as technologically advanced as he hoped they would be? Okay, interesting. Yes. Because, yeah, at this point, the immortal fused, and the surges and all that jazz are going to be pretty difficult to deal with. So yeah, I do understand why. I do think I still don't agree with Kelsier's methods to try and prevent that from happening. Especially where the timeline takes place, right? Because Kelsier is getting fucking desperate, but it's very clear that what Yaddle and Mraize were doing was, like, shitty, and the fact that, like, Kelsier would be okay with that is still baffling to me. But no, I do understand why Harmony is like, guys, they have had span reads for, like, ages, okay? We gotta get the radio invented, alright? Come on. I moved on to John Stormlight's next question.
Yeah.
So maybe you can answer that while I go pee.
This is Given Retribution?
Yeah.
Given Retribution and his goals for cosmic domination, do you understand why Harmony is worried that the people of the basin aren't as technologically advanced as he hopes they would be? No. No, I don't, actually. Because they are more technologically advanced than Roshar, and... like, what? So this is interesting, right? Sazed is like, you guys are behind, but we now know, because of when the Hoid interview for Wax's job listing happens, that the basin is technologically significantly advanced. Right? Like, yes, Odium is coming, but, like, the people on Roshar don't have anything. They don't have any technology. The idea that Sazed is like, oh my god, Odium's coming. You guys are so behind. The people on Roshar have Chull wagons. And they've got, like, one flying ship that doesn't work anymore because there's no Stormlight. It's like, honestly, I don't understand what Sazed's so worried about.
Wow, you guys, we had completely opposite takes on that.
The basin has cars.
Okay, and
Roshar
has fused, immortal fused with magic powers.
That's not technology. That's
matter.
People with magic. The basin has Twinborn.
Occasionally, yeah, there's like, 10 of them.
There's so many of them.
There's like 10 of them, and there's like hundreds or thousands of fused. They can all do different things.
And the Malwish have flying ships.
Okay, yeah.
The Malwish have multiple flying ships.
But all the individual people can fly.
I'm just saying, Sazed's, the idea that they're technologically behind doesn't make sense. If Sazed was like, you guys need better weapons to take out Immortals, I could maybe agree with that.
Well, that's what...
But to be like, you guys don't have
is.
the radio yet, is just a really weird problem to have.
He used that as an example, but obviously the radio is not going to be what's helpful. It's that, yes, they need to progress technologically.
Cars and guns.
What is a car going to do to a fused?
They have guns! They have so many guns!
And the fused have carapace and are immortal.
So?
They are immortal.
So?
Literally immortal.
So what? They have guns! They have fucking Gatling guns!
Not useful.
Oh, yeah? What happened when we introduced guns and we had plate armor?
Well, so
No. Answer this question.
Couldn't fly.
We wore plate armor.
Didn't have carapace.
Yeah.
They have carapace.
Yeah, guess what guns can do? Aim up. What happened to plate armor when guns were introduced to battles? It's a simple question.
Why would you expect me to know that?
We stopped wearing it because guns beats armor.
Yes, but armor is heavy and carapace is not heavy.
Well, we don't actually know that to be true. But
armor is a detriment in that situation.
They have guns.
We still wear bulletproof vests.
The fused can be taken down by arrows. They have guns. Carapace.
So many arrows.
Arrows work. Okay.
Arrows and guns are basically the same.
If arrows can take down someone with carapace, the basin has guns. I don't even know why we have to have this argument.
Function the same.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
If they did, then we would still fight guns with arrows, and we fucking don't.
No, guns shoot way
stopped
faster.
using bows because guns are so much better.
Yeah, they're more efficient. They're faster for sure.
No. They're better in every way. They're better in every single way possible. They are stronger. They do significantly more damage. Their ammo is easier to carry. You can carry a significant amount more ammo in it for a gun than you can for an arrow. Every single bullet does more damage than any arrow does.
No, in terms of damage, a bullet and an arrow go into your body and damage it. Like, there's not...
The amount of force that you can put into the draw weight of a bow is inconsequential next to the force created when a gun... powder explosion forces metal. Yes, it does.
No, it still goes into your body either way.
No, it matters so much. It matters so much. Guns are the great equalizer in this fight. I cannot believe you're trying to say that guns and arrows are the same. They are not. They are not the same thing at all.
I really don't think that guns are gonna stand up against an army of immortal fused with built-in armor, magic powers that can fly, that can meld through stone and surprise attack you, that can all fly. They have the fucking binded ones that have incredible amounts of force that they can unleash. They have shard blades. They have shard plate. Guns can't do shit to shard plate. I don't see why a fused could not wear shard plate. I'm just saying.
I think that is hilarious. I think that the idea that the radio is
They do also heal immediately. So yeah, there is that.
I
got shot with a gun. Oh, I'm good.
We know that the light can't leave. Like,
for now. That's why Sazed is worried. I totally get why Sazed is worried.
But at the point where he's worried, Taravangian has no idea how to get the light off Roshar. He hasn't figured that out yet. Being worried about something being worried that we're not ready for something that might happen in the future when we have time to figure more stuff out because someone else hasn't figured something out. It's just a weird worry.
No, here's why he's worried. Okay? Here's why he's worried. Sazed is the most powerful being in the galaxy, right? And then Todium, Raze dies, we get Todium, and then Todium becomes Retribution. Okay, so now we have two most powerful people in the galaxy. Therefore, every single other shard is going to turn to Sazed and try and take what he's got, which is exactly what Autonomy does. Autonomy goes, there is a big threat in Retribution over there. And so I am going to try and take what Sazed has because it is my best defense against Retribution. Therefore, Scadrial is fucked. Everybody is coming for them because they're going to want to take Sazed shards.
What are you talking about?
The rest of the Cosmere is going to come fuck up Sazed because they wanted shards.
Okay, let's be really clear about what you just said and why you're wrong because of what you just said. When Retribution becomes the biggest threat in the galaxy, Autonomy tries to go and take what Sazed already has. Yeah. Because it is the best defense against Retribution. Yeah. So Sazed being like, you guys aren't technologically advanced enough, but they are technologically advanced enough for Autonomy to be like, they've got the best shit to defend.
No, she wants the shards. A problem. She wants the shards.
She wants nukes. She wants a nuke. She's after a nuke.
She doesn't actually care about the bomb.
Yes, she does.
No,
technological advancement matters.
No, Autonomy cares.
Then why?
About
oh my god, babe,
about
your
what's
argument.
Her face trying to prove herself.
No, she wants a way to fight Retribution.
Which is the shards.
Which is bombs.
Which is the shards of harmony.
No, because if she takes those shards into herself, she will not be able to function.
That's not true. It took Sazed a long time to get to that point where he's like at this stalemate.
I would argue we don't know that it actually took that much time.
And there is a third shard that then comes into effect. You have Autonomy, you have Ruin, and you have Preservation.
Okay, you have shifted the argument enough that we can talk about something else if you would like. But the question is do you understand why Sazed was worried about the technology level?
Yeah, because
and they have guns. You might think that guns aren't that dangerous, which is fucking hilarious, but guns are very dangerous. Guns are really good. Like, guns are really good at killing
against
things.
Humans, sure. Yeah.
No. Guns are really good at killing everything on the planet, including things that have much thicker skin than we do. What
about the Sprint?
Legitimately, that's a good question. None of the Spren work for Odium. There's a whole oath pact about how they don't have to, so not relevant. But
well, that's not There are the Unmade. Definitely, some of them are working for Odium.
I'm not saying we're going to shoot the Unmade. And you trying to shift the conversation away from what we were talking about.
I'm not shifting anything away.
You are absolutely. I'm trying
reasons.
to tell you why the army of the army that you're saying is so dangerous because guns won't do anything to them. That's the conversation I'm trying to have, and you keep changing it to be a different thing.
No, I'm not changing it to be different.
What do you mean? I'm talking about fused, and you're like, yeah, but what about the Unmade? I'm trying to talk about the fact that guns are. I'm trying to convince you that guns are dangerous because guns are dangerous, and you're trying to be like guns.
But that wasn't the question. The question was, is Harmony right to be worried? And yes, he is.
No. His idea that because they haven't developed the radio, that they're somehow technologically behind when the planet has flying ships and guns is still goofy. The idea that Odium will somehow beat their guns because they don't have a radio is ridiculous to me. Guns are going to kill Fused, and then those Fused go all the way back to fucking Braze, have to get reborn in the Everstorm on Roshar, and then brought all the way back to Scadrial.
I just think you're fixating on the radio.
Because that's the example that says that uses.
It is, 100%. 100%. But it's not about the radio. It's about technological advancement.
And my point is that Sazed saying that you should have had the radio 100 years ago has nothing to do with where their planet is at in that moment and what the threat to that planet is at in that moment, because nothing happens. Sazed is like, I can see the future, and if you had the radio 100 years ago, things would be different, is irrelevant. It's this weird irrelevant thing that I genuinely think is a bad moment in that book. I think that it is bad for that moment to be in that book because it has this like predeterminism element that I don't like. And it ignores the fact that like they don't need the radio until they have the radio and they get the radio and they're fine. They have guns. They're gonna fight Fused just fine. The Fused are fucked. The Fused are gonna show up with fucking swords and the ability to twist themselves real tight, and they're going to face a firing squad. They're going to die, go back to Braze, and Tervengean's going to have to spend an absolutely disgusting amount of energy to bring their body into another Singer body, get them into Shadesmar, cross all the way across Shadesmar, and get back to the fight in Roshar 6 months later. The Fused are a danger on Roshar because they can die and get reborn in a body on Roshar. But unless Odium is able to bring the Everstorm to Scadrial, the Fused aren't really a problem. They die, and then they're not like automatically revived on Scadrial, unless he brings the Everstorm. If he can bring the Everstorm to Roshar, or to Scadrial, it's a much more interesting fight. But there are a limited number of Fused, and guns will fuck them up.
I don't believe that. Guns
have fucked up every single culture they've ever interacted with.
Mm-hmm. None of them had magic powers, so...
Guns fuck up the characters with magic powers in this series, including the ones with healing. Because watch it happen.
Because everyone has magic powers in the series.
We need to move on from this conversation. I really don't understand how you think that like guns are so ineffective. When guns are like the most...
I'm not saying they're ineffective.
Yes, you are. You are like, nah, the Scadrians are fucked. They didn't have the radio 100 years ago, so their guns aren't going to kill Fused.
You keep talking about the radio, and it's not about the radio.
But it is.
No,
it's about Harmony it's about Harmony thinking that there's a predeterminism to when Scadrial will get the things that will prevent them from a fight. If they're already fucked, and the books aren't interesting, which is why I don't like it.
It's not a predeterminism. It's more that, like... people are not advancing and thinking and moving forward.
But that's not the story of the books, is my point. It's what Sazed says is the story of the books. And I have this problem with a lot of Brandon Sanderson books. He misses the point of his own books a lot. God's telling me that the characters aren't progressing and moving forward, but then having the people progressing and moving forward in each book and having new technology in each book tells me that the God is just wrong for some reason, and I don't understand.
He says they are moving much slower than expected, which obviously if you are in the middle of reading a story, that advancement is going to be more obvious to you, right? Our characters come back and there are new things. But that is not the same scale as the entire, like, I guess continent, not really world in this case, making advancements in technology. It's very different.
But the technology across these 4 books changes so drastically. Like, they literally they have an electrified city with cars in it in a 4-book series. Uh-huh. It's a crazy advancement. And literally, like, Wax hears that technology isn't advancing fast enough, and his best friend Wayne, in the same book, becomes a fucking millionaire for investing in radical transformational technological advancement.
Yeah, and it's great because the Malwish are now there. There are reasons to progress forward. Like, there is innovation happening. And I think, like, Sazed says that in the past 100 years, which we didn't get to see, there was not as much advancement as he feels like should have happened because they were missing hardships. They had no inclination to explore because everything that they needed was right there.
And I'm saying, to me, that doesn't make sense with the book that we're given. And to the question, which is that given Retribution's goals for comic domination, do I understand why Harmony is worried? I'm saying, if Harmony is worried about Roshar, I don't agree with him. Because Scadrial is so technologically advanced beyond Roshar.
But I just said it's not about Roshar.
But that's what the question is about?
No, it's why...
Given Retribution and his goals for cosmic domination...
So there's a third piece. Yes. So the reason
I'm answering the question.
So am I. The reason Harmony is worried is because Retribution wants to dominate the Cosmere, and therefore other shards may be looking to dominate Scadrial and take the Harmony shards.
And I'm saying that given where Roshar is at, Scadrial is so far advanced.
But it's not as advanced as other planets. We know that for certain.
We don't know that.
Well, we know from the essays.
We don't know that. They're better at... Being better at traveling the Cosmere does not mean that you have better technology in this world, because you can travel magically. Magic travel exists. Like, it's not like we've... Even in the essays, we've not yet been to a planet where they, like, have spaceships.
I just think that the book literally says... Autonomy comes to fucking dominate the planet. And Brandon Sanderson has answered this question. That Harmony is right to be worried.
But autonomy... Autonomy loses because of the technology they have.
Autonomy loses for sure. And I do think that the way that the autonomy shard, manifests is very interesting. And I think, in a way, detrimental to that goal. But autonomy still came there and was pretty close to winning. Pretty damn close.
But magically. Not with autonomy does not come with technology.
Uh-huh.
She's still trying to come with the same,
in this world,
perpendicularity magic stuff.
Is technology.
Yes, but Sazed talking about, technological advancement. Scadrial is the most technologically advanced planet we've been to. In the entire Cosmere. By a significant margin.
It is the most similar to ours, but I don't know if that means advanced. Honestly. If we're
okay, what comes close?
Well, I think that in certain ways, Roshar has incredible technological advancements.
No,
right?
It doesn't. They're still pulling carts with chulls.
Okay.
What is their technological advancement that matches cars and guns?
The way that they use Spren is different than in the way that Scadrial needs electricity, right? Whereas on Roshar, they need Spren to power and heat things. It's so different that it's very difficult to compare because Scadrial doesn't have a fucking pain real that can take your pain away. That seems pretty advanced.
That is a cool piece of technology.
They have humans who can regrow limbs.
Navani, okay, the difference between the two things is that Navani is at the beginning. Navani's within the first 2 years of Fabrial technology advancing. Scadrial has working cars. They're in year not 70.
Not yet. The cars have only just started to appear on the roads because this is at the this book ends and then we jump into Mistborn Era 2 book 1.
Sure, but isn't the Sazed conversation in book 2?
Yeah, you're saying that there are cars on the road, and there's like 4.
Right.
There are like 4 people have cars. This is very new.
But they work.
Okay.
The technological advancement in the cars working is a miracle.
Sure.
Us figuring out the combustion engine was huge.
Okay. Yeah.
And within Mistborn Era 2, I think when this conversation happens, doesn't it happen in a car?
Look, here's the thing. Mistborn Era 2 doesn't have...
Or no, this one still happens in a carriage, doesn't it?
It's still a carriage. Mistborn Era 2 doesn't have the radio. But Roshar has span reeds.
Span reeds are bad. They're an ineffective communication tool.
Yeah, they're not instant. I'm just saying that, like, in terms of communicating long distances, there you go.
They have a magic...
You've got them beat.
That they... Maybe.
Sure. But this is what I'm saying.
Sure.
I find it difficult to compare them because the magic and the science and whatever it is, it works so differently on different worlds, and certain things are progressed for some people and some have for other because of the resources that they have available.
Instant worldwide communication isn't bad. The span reeds are when they work, they're great. The problem is that the span reeds, because they aren't powered by God anymore, don't work anymore. If your communication system relies on like the magic of the world,
you said Warlight might work for them, so we don't know. We don't have an answer yet to that.
Yeah, if God says that it does, if you pray to Him at midnight every night, the people on Scadrial have figured out the technology on Scadrial is people figuring out how to make shit work.
Yeah,
and the technology on Roshar is people being so obsessed with their magic system that they actually haven't made technological advancements. They've invested everything. They've invested so heavily in the magic of Stormlight.
Because it's a readily available resource at all times.
Is it when Sazed has his conversation with Wax?
No, but in the whole
That's
5
my point.
books, what does that have to do with...
My point is that it isn't the technological advancement of it at the point where Sazed is like, I'm really worried about some stuff coming our way. The people that this question is about, Retribution and his goals for cosmic domination, they don't have any technology that functions at this point, as far as we know. I mean, it's like a year later, so maybe but no, because of the slowness bubble. Roshar is literally falling apart when this conversation with Sazed happens. And I know that this is a conversation, a lot of it is mostly about autonomy and not retribution, but I think that the Sazed being like, you should have had this 100 years ago conversation, I didn't like it when it happened in the book, and I still don't. And retribution fucking up Roshar does not make me feel like Sazed is more right to be concerned about the technological advancement of the basin when they're developing cars.
I just don't see what a car does against a fuse.
Because my problem with the Sazed conversation from the beginning was that Sazed was saying, you guys don't care enough to advance, but the book was telling me that the culture was advancing.
No, he didn't. He never said you don't care enough to advance. He said the advancement is not what he thought it would be.
But he was saying...
Based on his godly foresight.
But that's not what he said. He said, I made things too easy for you, so you guys aren't advancing. And...
at the rate that he expected.
But that's not what I'm seeing. Like the book, the Mistborn Era 2 to me is not the story of people that are stagnant at all. Every single book has fundamentally different technology in it. Every single one. Like the advancement that we see in Era 2 is so fast that it seems like it's coming from a desperate source of need. And Sazed hasn't made the basin more difficult himself. So Sazed, my problem with it, and I want to be done with this, but because I feel like we both explained our point. But my problem with that conversation is that Sazed says your lives are so easy that no one is like working to advance. But the books keep showing me all of these characters that are working to advance and are interested in science and interested in moving forward. Our main characters are all interested in technological advancement and interact with technological advancement across that entire series. And so Sazed's fundamental thesis on that just feels off given how interested all of the characters we interact with are in things moving forward.
Yeah, because Sazed is talking about the previous 100 years. And I don't want to follow a story where characters don't grow and progress and change and it's stagnant. Like, that would make for a boring story.
Oh, sure. And I just think that if you take that Sazed conversation out of that book, nothing changes. It doesn't inform anything better or worse. It's just this aside with this conversation with God that I don't...
And I agree.
I don't think it has any value in that book. I don't like it. I didn't like when it happened. It felt too predeterministic. Saying where societies should be, I don't like. I don't like that the Cosmere feels like these gods all know what should be happening. And 9 times out of 10, it does happen, except when the gods tell me that it didn't happen retroactively to people I don't care about. I don't like that these books are so hinged on all of these gods can see the future, but they all see different futures, but the futures that they see usually do happen, and our characters are just caught up in these every character is caught up in predetermined, it's not even prophecies. It's literally like predetermined events that, and it's everywhere. It's every character every time is in the same predeterminism. And it's so much that having a god be like, you guys should have this technology you've never even heard of, is to me, like, why the Cosmere is falling apart to me. That conversation is indicative of my problem with the entirety of the Cosmere, which is that too many characters have these ideas of what should be happening based on some timeline that just too many characters have in their heads. And it's I find it takes away from our characters' actions that all of this predeterminism is just built into every conversation these characters have. And it's going to work for other people differently. I don't like prophecy the way other people like prophecy, right? This is like a subjective thing in a big way, that I just don't like the predeterminism element of the Cosmere. It's just in everything. And it holds back When in Truth a shit ton to me. I think a lot of the problems I have with When in Truth are how deeply ingrained the fact that this was guaranteed to happen has been since the death rattles in book 1. And I'm like, I don't actually want book 1 to tell me that the events of the book are just guaranteed to happen. That I don't want the epigraphs in the final section of the final war to tell me that Yasna survives years later. I don't want to be told Yasna survives until the epilogue. Tell me in the epilogue she's still alive. But don't tell me in the epigraph 7 chapters before the end of the book that she survives it all. I don't want to know that. I don't want to read epigraphs about someone being like, I'm writing the book about the events that happened so that you know that it works out. Like, I don't want that. You know what I mean? I want to read books about people doing things, not read books about people experiencing events the gods knew they were going to experience. Sorry.
No, I think that's, yeah.
Should we move on to another question?
Sure.
What do you want to happen in book 6? Whose backstory do you want to see in the flashbacks?
Are you going to keep doing flashbacks?
I mean, he is hard committed to his structure, so I do believe so.
I know, but this is technically its own, like, series, right? It's Stormlight Archive and then something else archive.
I don't know, man.
Right?
I don't know.
2 different archives.
I have a feeling that there will be flashbacks in all 10 books. There's a chance. Chat, has he already said who the flashbacks are in the remaining books? Because I know he has said that in the past.
Chat's, like, waiting for us to answer because they're like, we already know. Look, I could see having Herald flashbacks.
Why? We've already seen their whole lives. Why would we do more of that?
No, we only saw, like...
Brandon failed to make that interesting this time. I don't know why we would want more.
Well, because Kaladin has to therapize them.
Again, Brandon Sanderson failed to make the Herald flashback scenes interesting in this book. I don't need any more of them.
So, yes, he has said, but it's changed before.
Oh,
so
who are they? You can't spoil it. So, who are they?
No, wait. We need to pick. We need to answer first.
For book 6, I think the flashbacks will be... I think it's going to be Yasna's flashbacks running shit for the 10 years in between.
I would like for the second half of the series to focus on the singers, and I would like for it to be Leshwi.
Ooh, Leshwi for those 10 years would be interesting.
Yeah.
Taln, Ash, Renarin, Yasna, Lift.
Wait, he already has them for the 5 books?
Yeah. I thought I'd heard that he had.
So I just want to point out, none of those are singers.
No, he doesn't care about the singers at all. The singers are just the indigenous slave race that he created so that his heroic humans had someone to colonize and then beat up and kill. Not in that order. Oh, it's Lift first, then Renarin, Ash, Taln, Yasna.
So Lift is definitely not leaving the planet.
How could she?
Because she's with Azile. And Zyle...
Oh, right. They might have already left.
She's
Right. That was the thing we thought.
Or maybe they leave and they come back and the next book, if it's her flashbacks, but we know what her... Are we just going to flashback through the 10 years we didn't see or something?
Yeah, of course. To show what happened. Of course that's what it is. Right? That makes the most sense as a storytelling device so that we understand what happened in year 0 for those 10 years.
You mean the two-legged chulls? That's awful.
I mean, yeah, that's basically what they are, right?
That's really disappointing. Those are not the flashbacks that I want to see.
Yasna's I do, but it's because I'm so tired of Yasna not being a character in these books.
No.
Renarin, I don't give a shit about.
I'm really...
What part of Renarin's life do we not already know?
No, but here's the problem. Okay, here's why I have a problem with it. Because this feels like all the flashbacks are going to be in these, 10 years that we don't get to see written in story. Just write books!
Well, no. I don't know.
Just write books. Yeah, Dalinar didn't give a shit about Renarin either. Because, I understand the idea. Well, it's going to be Renarin's flashback. Because it's going to be him and Relaine making these connections with the singers and the da-da-da. Give it to me from a singer's POV.
Well, but I don't know. I honestly, I don't. I honestly, right now, I don't really care about book 6.
I like my idea better.
A decade when it because it's coming out in 10 years. That's what he said, right?
Something like that.
I don't know. I'll start to give a shit about it then. Right now,
I would like for it to be
I don't know what I want.
I will write Brandon Sanderson a letter and be like, please, for the love of fucking God, make something from the fucking singer's POV. Make them relevant because the Venli ones were bad and you can do better.
Yeah. Pilk says, what effect is X years of concentrated therapy, sparring, whatever else they're gonna do have on the Heralds? I thought I really wanted the Heralds to all be dead at the end of this book, so the idea that they're gonna continue to be relevant to the plotline is strange. 2031 for Stormlight 6. Oh, that's not that far off, actually. That's much sooner than I thought. I thought it was a decade. That's only in 5 years now.
Yeah. Still a long time.
Huh. But it's much closer than I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be 2035.
Wolf.
Wait, but no, isn't there... Oh, so we're getting... But see, here's the problem. Okay, here's the fucking problem. Because Brandon said we're getting Mistborn Era 3, 2028, 2029, 2030. So that means that we are going back to having a book every year again. Are any of these books going to get edited?
Well, here's the thing. He's taking a few years to write all of them, so,
But he has a book coming out this year.
That's true. He's got The Fires of December.
The Fires of December comes out in, 11 months. And he just had a book come out at, fucking Dragonsteel.
That was the announcement book.
No. There was a short novel that came out at Dragonsteel, right?
No, I think that came out several months ago. That was the new short story, right?
So he's got a 2027 book. He doesn't have a 2020... I guess he doesn't have a 2027 book. Is the only year... is he really...
Yeah.
Tailored Realities? Is that was the one that just came out called?
Book with short stories.
I know, but he still has to write them.
Better than 5 books a year with secret projects. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's better than that. But, I don't know.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. And, look, if Wind and Truth was, an absolutely banger that felt edited and tight, I would be write a book every year. The quality of... And honestly, I look, Rhythm of War, I don't hate Rhythm of War. I do think there's good stuff in it. I do think it's, it's under-edited and needs some work.
Sure.
So, for me, personally, And even, look, there's great emotional stuff at the end of Lost Metal, but, all of Mistborn Era 2 could have been much tighter, and it's just tough. It's really tough for me to think that getting a book every year is going to be beneficial to the Cosmere as a whole.
Yeah. I don't know if Mistborn Era 2 was an editing problem. I think it might have stemmed more from the fact that it was supposed to be a one-off book, a standalone thing, then it became a series, and there was some finagling that had to be done. Sure. But yeah, definitely these last 2 Stormlight books, I would have definitely a bit more editing.
But I don't know what X years of concentrated therapy sparring is going to have on the Heralds. Here's the problem. I don't really know any of the Heralds well enough to know how they're going to change. Because now that they're not just them being in they're going to show up and not be insane, which will be
and that's my question is why would
they're just going to feel fundamentally different no matter what.
Does their mental issues, do they appear here in this mock-up of Alashua?
Yeah, because Kalak is freaking out. Kalak is all over the place when in that postlude.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he also kind of fucking appeared out of nowhere and thought he might be like tortured and had to do this again. So I'm also like, I don't know.
I also don't know why the Oath Pact would end this time. They're not getting tortured, so why would they break? Why do they come back?
They must come up with a really good plan. Or unless the one that betrayed to Odium deliberately breaks to bring the heralds back.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sir Jimmer says, in my opinion, there's a lot to heralds we haven't seen. 3 of them are pretty much only named. But that's what I mean. Like, it's hard for me to say what the effect this is going to have on them because we know them so little. And
like Talm is just like stuck in a like repetitive cycle of repeating the same things. Like, I don't know how if you can fix that. Like, I don't know, Pilks. I don't know.
Steaks Meat says, here's the thing. When in Truth came out, I think, pretty quickly. We're still getting a book every year, but there's still a 2-year delay between when he writes a book and when it comes out. Yes, but the delay doesn't actually... Like, so the amount of time the editors have for each book will still be the same. Because they'll have to get to the next book because it comes out a year after the one they're on. So like there's not, yes, there is a 1-year break. And so if he can get everything done and they can get all that work done, they can maybe get ahead of it. But in creative arts, everything runs a little bit longer than you want it to. And so eventually putting a 1-year gap in now, but then having everything after that have the release schedule you've been on just means that you will slowly fall into the same time crunch that you are currently on. Which is why I just don't think that you should be setting release dates 5 years out for books. I think that you should write the books, do the process, and then be like, okay, this one's ready.
I want to bring up a point that Tithanisk makes, which is really interesting. Are the heralds affected by the time bubble? Because they're not on Roshar. They are technically on Braze, which doesn't have a time bubble around it. So are they... No.
Yeah, the time bubble's around all of those planets. Braze, Ashen, and Roshar.
No, I thought they said it's around Roshar.
It's around that system. Everything around that system is in the time bubble.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
Then never mind. Yes, I think it will affect them.
I don't think it will, because they're not in... It won't affect them. So the weird thing for the Heralds and for Kaladin is that they're not in real time, so like the time bubble doesn't matter to them. They're in a vision in the spiritual realm, so time for them is already not real. In the same way that Dalinar kept checking his watch because time moves differently. The Herald's minds are already in the spiritual realm, so time can move for them however Brandon Sanderson wants it to. Gavinor spent 20 years in 4 hours, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, okay.
The Heralds are essentially stuck outside of time.
Yeah.
And whatever Brandon wants the time difference for them to be, he can make it because there's no consistency in how time in the spiritual realm is in any of the books.
Yeah. Pilks also want to know, is Kaladin going to become Shallan's stepfather?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Heralds might already have relationship. Like, that one's gonna be weird because there's so many more men than women.
Also, the problem is like that's a really rough age gap.
There's definitely 2 gay Heralds, right? We're gonna find out. I wouldn't be surprised if the reveal at the end of this is that Taln is gay. Was gay for like Jezrien, but he's dead. Yeah, or I don't know. I just like because Taln has flashbacks. Taln, he's not the stepfather, he's the father's stepfather. I could see Taln end up being gay. Because Ash, Brandon Sanderson deliberately wrote in that Ash is like, he's always been like a brother to me. Even though I thought they were more than that. And so I think that if Taln ends up being gay, I think that could happen. But yeah, Kaladin dating Chana, maybe, I don't know. She's like crazy, and like he's like her therapist.
Old. Well, no, that's the problem. Is the doctor-patient relationship is a problem, and so this would be a violation of the Hippocratic Oath or whatever.
Adrian says, as someone with no comic or comic movie knowledge, I was interested in the description of Book 5 as a comic event style story. Could you expand on that a bit? How have those been successful, and how is that structure not suited for a book medium? So comic book events are an attempt to sell comics
in the main
Forever.
line of those events. No. For a short period of time. For a very short period of time. The idea is that you have the mainline event. So say you're doing Avengers Secret Wars. The comics actually just called Secret Wars. But you have all of the characters in their own comic lines. So like Ant-Man and the Wasp is a separate comic line that has its own story going on. But Ant-Man and the Wasp number 76 is an issue that is a Secret Wars comic where Ant-Man and the Wasp have their separate storyline that is tangentially related to Secret Wars, but isn't part of the main Secret Wars comic. That's what this book feels like, in that Adolin is in Adolin Day 1. If you were to do this in comics, you would make them all separate comics, so you have to buy all the comics to know the full story. Civil War is a great example of this. There's the Civil War, I think the main line is only 7 issues. But there's 96 comics as a part of the first Civil War in Marvel. It's a huge story that takes place across the whole planet with all these teams and all these people doing all of these different stories. You can understand the storyline if you just read Civil War, but it is so much better if you read all of Civil War, which is all of the comics, right? The reason why it's not effective in a novel is because the pacing of the emotional beats of the side stories ends up hitting in the wrong times because of how they relate to the main storyline, and you can't build to emotional payoffs very well because everything has to time out together in a novel. Whereas in the comics, because the storylines are separated into their own things, if you just read the Adolin comic, you get the emotional impact at the time the author wants you to in the Adolin storyline at the right time. You get to feel the tension build and release. Whereas in this book, tensions are building and releasing across different plot lines in very random ways, where you can feel like you're in tension in one plot line, but then it hard cuts to something that isn't in tension. And so as the reader, you lose the narrative facsimile of what's going on.
It also jumps around so much where it's really hard to connect with a character in a storyline when you're constantly being pulled to whatever to the next thing within the same chapter.
When you're reading a comic event storyline, that you can read them chronologically, jumping around between the books, and it is a worse reading experience than reading one thing, understanding that and feeling it emotionally fully, and then going and getting context somewhere else.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do think I think that this is trying to emulate the structure of Civil War. I don't think it works. Overall high low of the 5. We'll do that at the very end, Adrian.
Great. Okay, that's fair.
8, because we always do that at the end.
Yeah.
And Lay Mist's Wend.
Lay Mists, yeah.
Maybe for Dragonsteel 2026.
Yeah.
We'll pitch it.
Yeah, that's... Guys, Les Mis is a tough sing. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Not for me.
Well, yeah, because all the male leads except for Enjolras are fucking baritones.
Jean Valjean is not a baritone.
I mean,
God on high,
yeah, but
my
that's falsetto.
Only in the first half of the song. The second half of Bring Him Home is...
I believe in you. You can do it.
Bring him home. Full voice.
I don't think anyone...
24601. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, but you can just scream it like the Hungarian version. Guys, if you have not seen this video and you are a Les Mis fan, at me in the Discord. I will show you my favorite video on YouTube, and it is from a production of Les Mis in Hungary, where the person who is Jean Valjean just screams in a way that I have never heard.
No human has ever made that sound
vocally
before.
in my life. Yeah, it's bonkers. I have that video saved. I will fucking drop it in there. It's something else. Anyways,
let's get to Adrian. Their last question here. What songs go on your hypothetical Stormlight soundtrack?
What does that mean?
If you were to put what songs are Stormlight songs to you? I mean, Thunderstruck has to be on there.
Because it's
Thunderstruck.
Well, it depends what genre of music
Thunderstruck
you associate with the Stormlight.
Yeah, Thunderstruck.
I don't know. The only music we hear is flute music, and I don't listen to the flute.
Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On." Fight song easily. This is my fight song. My right song.
That is not the vibe I associate with Stormlight.
That's awesome. Shalon doing some like weird in like moment with Venli to my fight song absolutely works to me.
Wait, oh my god.
Riders of Storm for the Doors, yeah.
I just imagine Shalon like fucking courting Adolin singing Black Magic, like.
The Wall by Pink Floyd. When Yasna's building the wall in Oathbringer. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. And that would be, and then you see like Lift zipping around to that fucking bass. Oh, the wall would be so good.
And then Shrek comes in.
These boots are made for walking. Shalon.
Wow.
Shalon takes Kaladin's boots and he has to walk her away. And as she turns and starts to walk, it zooms in on his face, and you just hear that. Oh
my god.
These boots are made for walking. That's just what they do.
Problem is, like, I feel like I don't listen to any like mainstream music anymore.
You. And then when they're in the chasm together, again, you just hear the moment where they have a little bit of sexual tension. There's just a like whisper on the wind of, one of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
Oh my god.
Oh man, that's good.
I mean, yeah, Lightweavers can like create sound, so you know, yeah, that makes sense.
Those are some good ones. Demetrio says, what do you think is the effect of the merge of Honor and Odium for the investiture of Roshar? For example, will Retribution allow some of his allies to keep their radiant powers? Yeah, the Stormbreakers will still have radiant powers. And seal them from Alephian friends. If our protagonists get their powers back, how will that happen? I mean, I think that the goal is going to be to expand the power of Tower Light beyond the tower.
Well, and I do think that they have a almost weird safe haven there.
Yeah. Because
the Tower Light still works. So I actually wonder if the Radiants can still use their powers in the tower.
Yes, we know they can. It says that in the book.
Here's the thing. I don't know if Retribution can just come and like turn that off. But I don't think so.
No. The bubble is protecting your Theru.
Yeah, so I don't
At the end of this book, it says they can still use their powers.
Yeah, so I don't think Retribution can take away all the Radiant powers if they're in Urithiru. But I think that the people for outside of it, if they're not on his side, then like...
Oh, I wonder if in the same way that the Ghostbloods were trying to get light... use Biodo Mishram to get light off Roshar, I wonder if the Radiants will team up with Biodo Mishram to get Tower Light around Roshar. And that's how it moves forward. Is that like Biodo Mishram gives Biodo Mishram gives the humans forms of power that allow them to tap into Tower Light around the planet.
But they don't have gem hearts, so I don't think they can have forms of power.
I don't know why that. I don't know that.
I don't know.
That might be true. I don't think there's anything in the books that says that is a fact.
That you need a gem heart for forms of power?
Yeah. I think that I think that that's why Yaddle and Mraize were after her, right? So
I thought that was how it worked, but I don't know.
I know. I think ultimately the Yaddle and Mraize plot line is to set up how the humans have powers on Roshar post time skip and post Death of Honor.
I just think that Mishram's connection to the humans is lessened because she wasn't able to like heal that guy in the flashback in the way that he was with the singer.
I understand that in the past. I'm saying that I think the whole point of Yaddle and Mraize's plotline and the Ghostbloods thing is to establish that they want to use Biodo Mishram to get light off of Roshar. That's their whole goal. I think that the humans that are left are going to use that same logic to get their light around Roshar, to get Tower Light around Roshar.
Oh, sure. I don't think that's the forms of power, but...
I don't know. I'm just offering up an idea.
Yeah.
We don't know. We'll find out in 2031.
Probably.
Code 76 says, do you think the Fuse will have similar effects as the Radiants on their powers with the merging of shards? Do you think the Fuse will have similar effects as the Radiants on their power? Code, I'm not really sure I understand what your question is. Do you mean, like, will they lose their powers? I don't think they'll lose their powers.
We don't really know what happened to a lot of the Radiant powers after they merged. Like, we haven't really checked in on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the fuse will become more powerful. I think they'll have access to different surges. So, officially, Sam says humans can't have forms of any sort. I don't know why. I don't know that that's a fact. We don't know that they can't have forms of any sort. Just because they haven't in the past doesn't mean that it's impossible.
I thought that the book said that, like, it comes from the gem heart, and the fact that the humans don't have gem hearts means that they can't have forms of power.
I don't think the books have ever said that humans can't have forms of power.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought...
No more Stormlight equals Radiance lost powers. No more Void Light, so a fuse lose powers too. Oh, no, I think that much like Radiance can use Tower Light the same way that they can use Stormlight, I think Fuse can use War Light the same way they can use Void Light.
Yes, 100%.
The transitive properties of Stormlight to Tower Light means that the transitive properties of Void Light to War Light makes too much sense to me.
Yeah, I think it would be weird if Tower Light worked for the Radiance, but the War Light didn't work for the Fused.
I'm just saying that in a world where, like, the magic system is so magical, the idea that humans are locked out of forms when they... Like, regrowth can regrow humans' bodies. The idea that magic would be... That humans are somehow locked out of forms of power, to me, it just doesn't feel like a fact, because the magic of this world is whatever.
Maybe you could take a gemstone, trap a spren in it, and, like, shove it into the chest of a human, and it, like, changes them.
Or like, human and spren can, like, be bonded together. Like Ishar is doing shit to the spren in the real world.
Yeah.
Like, maybe Biodomishram, maybe the next level of the Radiant Oaths is that a human and a spren evolve together. And so we have, like, human ash spren bond, like, human ash spren mixes where they're, like, fire people.
As they become corporeal, they have babies.
Yeah, because, or that. No, that's a real possibility, right? Like, we bring up the Chalusi in this fucking book.
Yeah.
If
we kind of saw that with Amram and Oathbringer, right? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, the idea that, like, maybe the path forward is that Biodomishram gives humans the ability to merge with spren into forms of power.
Yeah.
So it's different than how singers do it. But, like, a human, you know, merging with an honor spren and getting the ability to fly, or, you know, I could see that.
I could see if humans and singers have children, they would be born with a gem heart.
Well, and we've already seen that humans is like the spren can hide inside humans in the spiritual realm. So if that, like, if they were somehow able to make that connection physical, it could be how they move forward.
This is what the appendix is for. What? It's like a useless organ. You don't need your fucking appendix. It's actually
I thought you meant the appendix
heart.
of the book.
No, your appendix.
Like,
they're gonna
They're not gonna put narrative in the appendix.
So that the appendix becomes a gem heart.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
M Dash says, which location or side character on Roshar would you be most interested in reading more about? For instance, if there's a novella about them, can be set at any time in the series. Oh, a Rock going home.
Yeah.
Like, no, seriously, like, Rock having to, like, make a legal defense of his actions at the Battle of Thaylen Fields would be a very interesting book to me.
It'd be like Perrin with the white cloaks.
Oh, yeah. No, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, you have a fused invasion through the perpendicularity in the middle of it. So, like, I think Rock going back to, like, protect the perpendicularity would be a great novella.
No, definitely, like, 110% Rock.
Yeah, he's one of the best characters in the series. And honestly, he's missed for 2 books.
Yeah.
Brother Armand says, aren't Horn-Eaters implied to be the descendants of humans and singers? I think that there's, like, an implication, but it's not, like, it's never, like...
I don't remember that.
Because their fingernails are hard carapace. That's the implication.
Okay. They didn't just evolve to have harder fingernails because they live on the mountains?
I think that's going to be the tease novella Horn-Eater. Wait, is there actually a tease novella called Horn-Eater?
Probably, yeah.
I'm down for that. I'm very down for that. I think it'd be an interesting book.
Okay.
A question I think I've asked before, but the answer might have changed. Which character from the Stormlight Archive would you most like to go out for a drink with, and why? Adelin's such an easy answer.
I know, it's the first thing that comes to mind, but it depends on the kind of night you want to have.
Yeah.
Right?
The Mink, maybe?
The Mink, yeah.
The Mink would be a fun night.
Play hide and go seek the whole time?
Yeah. I would go to a strip club with the Mink. I'm not a big strip club guy, but I feel like I would go to a strip club with the Mink.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Can you imagine going out with Shalon? Ugh, what a terrible night. She's just sitting in the corner talking to herself, and you're like, are you okay? Like, Shalon is the kind of hang where you're like, she like phases out for a sec. Like, you know what I mean? Like, literally, like, zones out every few minutes. You have to be like, hey, girl, you good?
You good?
And she's like, hey, yeah, I'm fine.
I'm back. I think that
All right.
if you wanted to have a messy night, going out with Lopin would be very fun.
I don't know that I could, like...
You're like, that's too much for me.
Here's the thing. I find the Mink and the Lopin are the same level of chaos, but I do find the Mink's comedy funnier. I find the Lopin funny in a way where I want to leave the table after a couple jokes because it's the same joke.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Depends if we're doing like book 2 or book 5.
Yeah.
M Dash asks, how would you describe each Stormlight book in a bad one-sentence summary?
Way of Kings is a novel about a slave using the bodies of his enemies, of his owner's enemies, to save his owners from their own bad decisions.
Wow. I think Way of Kings is rich people hold a grudge and get distracted by shiny things.
Words of Radiance is people sit around and kind of don't do a whole lot until a sister fucks over her sister so bad that the entire continent falls apart.
A what?
A sister fucks over her sister so bad that an entire continent falls apart.
Who are sisters?
What is the inciting incident of the end of Words of Radiance, baby?
Elakar being a shit
Definitely
person?
not a sister. And he's not responsible for the... Venli and Eshonai.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Venli fucks Eshonai over so bad that the entire continent falls apart.
Fair.
That's just
I was remembering that as a flashback because I got confused with the flashbacks.
No, that's the present. Yeah.
No, that is so fair. I was like, that's not like, yes, okay. I hear you now.
Mm-hmm. Oathbringer is about a king.
Wait, no, I have to do Words of Radiance. Words of Radiance is Nepo baby learns the consequences of his actions.
Who are you talking about?
Elakar?
When does he learn the consequence of his actions?
He's like pretty broken in this novel because he's like, people are trying to kill me, and then someone does try to kill him, and he is like shaken to his core. He is not the same.
Dalinar beats him up?
Well, that too, but when Moash goes to try and fuck him up, like.
Oh yeah.
Like
that's right.
Yeah. Oathbringer.
Shim's lady says, "Are direct female relatives who share parents sisters though?" Asking the real question. That's funny. Okay. Oathbringer is bad god wins, but the king forgives himself for murdering his wife.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, that is it.
You know what? I forgive myself. Hey, that is
no one else forgives him.
That is a step in the healing process, okay?
Oh, no. Wait. I've got a better one.
The colon men get laid.
A king learns to read after remembering he killed his wife.
And writes a book. Yeah. That is kind of it.
I just love after remembering he killed his wife. Like he forgot. Rhythm of War is Die Hard. with a bunch of science that doesn't
What's a
matter.
tagline for Die Hard?
Die Hard, but a bunch of science happens that is forgotten about in the following book.
It's not wrong.
A bunch of what if Die Hard was a magic book that tried to be about science, but then the science didn't end up mattering at all? Remember when they built a flying ship and they never used it in the last 3,000 pages of the novel?
Yeah.
They have a flying ship for that whole... where is the fourth bridge? The entirety of the final book.
Yeah. I think Wind and Truth is 10 days of wondering what Contest of Champions means. No. 10 days of analyzing the terms and conditions that you didn't read.
Wind and Truth is a history textbook written by humans ignoring all of the minorities that they oppressed.
Yeah, pretty much.
The fourth bridge is in Scotland, I believe. No, actually, chat, does anyone know where the fourth bridge is in Wind and Truth? It's never brought up.
Yeah, it's
Is
never
it?
mentioned. No.
Where is the fourth bridge?
I have no idea.
They
use it one time.
They save Heart
So a
Home.
normal history text.
Yeah, that's the joke I was making, Blue. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, okay, they save Heart Home.
Not Hardhome. That's Game of Thrones.
Hearthome?
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone. Right, the card game by Blizzard.
Yes.
What happens to the fourth bridge after that?
Wind and Truth. Dudes hanging out, chatting, and watching home movies. Jesus Christ.
It is wild. They built a flying machine, and it does nothing in the final book.
Yeah, they don't use it. It's not part of anyone's plans.
Dalinar takes it to the Imul, right? In Rhythm of War.
Mm-hmm.
Does he? Why did they build... What is going on in these books, man? Catharak says, which of these decisions you think will hurt Wind and Truth the most? The 10-day timeline, A. B is using most of the page time of Rhythm of War on things irrelevant to Wind and Truth. Ooh, that's actually a really good point. Or C, including several plot lines in Wind and Truth that have no apparent connection to the rest of the book. All of the above?
I know.
They're all bad choices.
I think that the plot lines... I think several plot lines into Wind and Truth have no connection to the book, was the most frustrating to read in the moment.
But I think the thing that hurt Wind and Truth the most was having Rhythm of War not set it up.
Maybe, yeah.
I think having Rhythm of War do a bunch of random shit about science that is... And look, the science stuff, it's not that it's bad. I didn't love it in Rhythm of... I thought it was a lot in Rhythm of War. But, if it had paid off, it would have been great. The problem with all of the Rhythm of War science is, in hindsight, when I reread Rhythm of War, I'm going to be like, none of this matters.
I know, and that's
literally none of this matters.
The emotional payoff for that book, I think, is great. So.
And so, the fact that all that page time is spent on stuff that, A, doesn't matter, and at the end of Wind of Truth doesn't even work.
Yeah.
It's rough. So I think B for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 10-day timeline, I don't actually have a problem with the 10-day timeline.
I think it should have been organized differently.
Yeah, and just don't try and be and we're going to solve therapy in 10 days. And, just do things that can actually be done in 10 days.
Yeah.
Zez
asks, does the Blackthorn situation feel like a cop-out to you? Would the ending be improved if Dalinar became Odium's instead?
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
But I also feel like the Blackthorn will be used as a device to to make a commentary on that anyone can change and choose to do better at any point in their life. Because Dalinar got to that point, and so it stands to reason that the Blackthorn would be able to. He's had a different lived experience, right? He won't be able to have the blanket that cultivation gave him. But I do wonder if that the Blackthorn is going to be used less as a plot device and more of a storytelling device on how our lives shape who we are and the people around us in because we're going to have a direct comparison between Dalinar and the Blackthorn.
I think that Brandon Sanderson has been really bad at writing villains for a few books now, and so I don't think he's going to be used well. I think I don't really care. I think the Blackthorn is just going to be someone for Aelin to go, oh no, I got to fight my dad, and then he'll fight his dad, and that'll be the end of it.
Well, but it's going to be the same beat that Dalinar had with Elhokar. Or not Elhokar, Gavinor.
Why would it be the same beat? He's not real.
Well, but Aelin's not going to know that. He's not going to understand that. He's going to be like, I have to fight my dad. In the same way that Dalinar is like, oh my god, I have to fight my grandnephew.
I think that Aelin's gonna be like, hey, that looks like my dad 20 years ago. I think he's gonna know some magic shit's going on.
Well, okay,
I can't imagine
can
like
age him up.
Aelin. I can't imagine that Dalinar with no gray hairs shows up and everyone is like, Dalinar, you're alive.
No, I'm not saying
we saw your body, but you're alive. Like, I think they're gonna know it's some magic bullshit.
Still having a fight. He's still like weirdly like the same person, just younger. Instead of Gavinor is the same person but older.
Sure, I just think, like, one conversation, Aelin's gonna be like, oh, the evil god we're fighting is making me fight a facsimile of my dad, who's a dick.
I just mean it's gonna be emotionally similar to Dalinar and Gavilar.
And Gavilar?
Gavinor, sorry.
No, Gavinor's innocent. Which is why it's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
The Blackthorn isn't innocent. It's a very... I don't know. Here's the thing. You're probably right. I'm so uninterested in Shadow Dalinar as a... If Moash had been taken out and there was some, like, narrative heft to this, maybe it would be interesting. I also think the Shadow Dalinar thing is weird because of the, like, someone else has claimed real Dalinar's soul or some shit. I think there's too much magic shit going on with Dalinar's souls and Rebirth Dalinar and...
Sure, I'm not that interested in either. I think it's going to be less of a plot device and more of an emotional thing.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I think that the way the villains have been used in the last couple of books, El was such a dud. The way Moash is using this book is so confusing. Raboniel was kind of an interesting villain, but it's because she wasn't really a villain. But, like, the mustache-twirling Taravangian of it all makes it tough for me to, like, think that this Blackthorn character... I just don't trust that Brandon Sanderson can write a good villain right now. And I don't think... I think Abadai the Monarch was kind of a dud.
El was not present.
Yeah, I don't think that he's done... villains well lately, and so the Blackthorn being a fake villain that isn't real in any way, he's just smoke and mirrors. I don't know. I'm honestly not that interested in it. I'm much more interested in how we deal with real problems than with like weird god bullshit.
Yeah.
I also just think pulling a vision out of the spiritual realm and making it real because the real person met it one time in a vision is so dumb to me that I just don't like it as a beat.
Okay.
Like being like, Dalinar interacted with this, therefore I can make it real, is an explanation that I just don't understand. So, like, can he go into any vision and be like, Dalinar interacted with the Herald here, so I can make a version of this Herald be mine?
No, it's that Dalinar interacted with himself. That's not, not the same thing.
But here's the problem.
It's because Dalinar was able to connect with him because they're the same fucking person with the same experiences.
But he's only in that vision because Retribution, or at the time Odium put him there. So Retribution can just put anyone in a vision with themselves, make them interact with themselves, and then pull a version of them out of the spiritual realm now.
I think it might only work for bondsmiths.
Why?
Because it's about the bond that you create with the vision person and not...
But the bond stuff works. Everyone in the spiritual realm was able to do bond stuff, right?
No, only Navani and...
Nope. Shallan is like, I have the same mentality as Bado Mishram, so I can pull myself to her. That literally just happens. They're not bondsmiths.
What?
They travel through the visions by connecting with the mindset of Bado Mishram.
I thought the only way they were able to travel through the visions is that the two bondsmiths were able to make connections, and the corrupted Spren were able to bop them where they kind of semi-needed to be.
What stops him from using corrupted Spren to bop people into visions with themselves and then recreate them?
Because Shallan didn't... Whoa, what? That's not... The question...
You seem to be thinking that Retribution has fewer powers in the spiritual realm than random people.
No. I'm saying that I think that the Blackthorn was only able to be created because of the scenario and the fact that he is a bondsmith. I don't think anyone can go into the spiritual realm, meet themselves, and then a copy be made of them. I think it is a bondsmithing power that was twisted.
Sure. Fine. It's as dumb as any of the other shit that happens in that moment, so I will accept that. I think the splitting hairs of that is why I don't like it.
That doesn't feel like splitting hairs to me. I'm not gonna lie.
I think all of the magic around
is very interesting.
Good. I'm glad you do. This is a subjective thing. I don't. I think that bringing back a piece of Dalinar to be a warrior is less interesting than creating an actual character for the second half of the series.
No, so do I. But
10 years later, Shadow Dalinar shows up is just not interesting to me.
Yeah, I just think that the idea that the bondsmithing powers were able to forge this connection with a piece of himself in the spiritual realm, like, I do think that is actually interesting. I'm not super interested in the Blackthorn coming back, like as of it, like, that's not the part of it I find interesting.
If it had been used for something that I thought actually would be, like, fun to do, I might agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that, like, I think that the very idea that the book has that the Blackthorn who won a campaign against humans back then would be good now, given the change in combat, is kind of goofy. Because this, like, that Dalinar was effective because he was wealthy. They had shard plate and blade, and they were fighting regular dudes.
Yeah, he has a lot of learning to do to figure out what the fuck the fused are and the radiance and...
Dalinar, look, let's be really clear about how good Dalinar is as a general. Let's be really fucking clear about it. He went to the Shattered Plains for 6 years and could not fight regular listeners to a victory. They stalled out on the Shattered Plains. If Dalinar was the greatest general of all time...
He wasn't the general there. The problem with the Shattered Plains...
Yeah, he was. He was one of... But he led his forces in battle.
His own forces, yes. The problem with the Shattered Plains...
Yep.
...is that none of the people wanted to work together. They wanted to stall out there so that they could harvest the gem hearts. And 100%. Dalinar was trying to get High Princes to work together
100%.
So that they could finish this fucking war. Because I do think Dalinar could have ended it.
So, okay. So my point is, if Dalinar was the greatest general of all time, and he was so good at it that he's gonna lead the Cosmere army to take over the entire Cosmere, you probably want a guy that would have handled the Shattered Plains, and Dalinar didn't. Dalinar didn't even lead the campaign to take over Alethkar. Gavilar was in charge.
But no one was in charge on the Shattered Plains because they were all individual princedoms and Elhokar was useless. I don't think you
Shim Slady brings up the exact point I'm making. Me putting Sun Tzu in charge of drone strikes. Well, he was really good in ancient China. This is the problem. Dalinar at the end of Wind and Truth would absolutely destroy the Rim. What was it called? The Rim Dalinar? Whatever. The day that he burned Evie. That Dalinar, as a general, in the modern conflict with Fused and all of these things, would get dog-walked by modern Dalinar.
No one's denying that.
So, but my point is that Taravangian being like, I need an uneducated, brute force Dalinar to lead my modern soldiers isn't interesting to me narratively, because that Dalinar doesn't, like...
Yeah, it was his backup plan. Like, of course he wanted actual Dalinar.
I don't think Dalinar is so good at everything that he is a necessity for the Cosmere army. I personally do not think that Dalinar is some god-level general that is so good that Taravangian needs him.
I do believe that it is personal. I think Taravangian is a little bitch because every time he's with Dalinar, he's like, I'm going to teach Dalinar a lesson. I'm going to get Dalinar to tell me I'm right. I'm going to make Dalinar do this. I think that it is a weird, petty, personal thing that he has with Dalinar and his morality. And yes, he is also a good general. But he's, sure. I really do think that it is a weird, like, personal, petty thing that he wants it to be Dalinar, and then because he can't get actual Dalinar, he pulls out a copy Dalinar.
I just don't understand why non-radiant Dalinar is that useful, given where this conflict is headed.
Well, because he does have the mindset and the history of, like, leading soldiers. He has a reputation, for sure. And so if he can take a few years to learn... Here's the thing. He's immortal. He's going to take a few years to learn and adapt to what the Fused do, who they are, how to fight with them, how to fight against them, and the Radiance. Like, he does. It's not like he has to fight tomorrow.
Give me an actual character. Like literally just build up a new character.
Look,
give me someone to...
I am agreeing with you,
no,
but
not.
I think you're being pedantic.
I'm not being pedantic. I don't like this choice.
Any reason?
I'm being very clear why I don't like this choice. It's not any reason. I don't like this choice. I don't want Dalinar back in the second half of the series.
I agree.
And I don't think a lesser Dalinar is interesting. I'm being clear. And I've said it's subjective. Subjectively, I do not like this choice. You can like it. I'm happy you do.
But it's not about liking it or not liking it.
I can't have my reasons to dislike it is weird.
No, I'm not saying you can't dislike it.
You are.
No, you're saying you don't understand why he would be a good choice for this. And I'm saying I think that it's because of this and this.
I don't think that Shadow Dalinar makes... I don't think you need him. If the Fused are as good at this as the books want me to believe that they are, the idea that you need this random like piece of a human to have your armies be good, Dalinar isn't even the best general in these books.
100%. That's why I think that it is a personal petty vendetta.
And I don't find that interesting. I don't find Taravangian's personal petty vendettas very interesting.
That's totally fine.
But that is my reason, and I'm allowed to have it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you can't. You're saying that it's not making sense to you.
And I don't think it does.
Why would Odium do this? And I'm saying, I think that he's just a fucking asshole.
Sure.
Like, with how we've seen him act, he's, again, not a super interesting villain. I think he was just being an asshole.
Sure. And again, I don't like it. I still... The fact that it can be explained with, well, Taravangian just being a dick doesn't make it good to me. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like Dalinar coming back. I don't want to see Adolin be like, oh no, my dad. Like I don't care about that. I want the series to move on to other things. And like if we spend the next 5 books with us fucking circling the drain with Dalinar again, I don't think that's gonna be better. I don't think that's gonna fix the like pacing issues, or I don't think it fixes the villain issues to have it just be Shadow Dalinar. I think that like I think that I'm genuinely worried that bringing back Dalinar is going to have us circle the exact same fucking plot lines again with Adolin, and that we can't move forward. Like I want that. That's what it is. Okay, if you really want, let's move on from all my other whatever bullshit excuses, the ones you didn't like. This is what I want. I want to move forward, and the last 3 books have been circling the exact same plot lines, all the same mental issues for all of our characters. Mm-hmm. Oathbringer does all of our characters' mental health problems and gives them a great ending, and then Rhythm of War hits those same problems again, and then Wind and Truth hits those same problems again. We do the same thing 3 times. And then at the end of that book, Dalinar dies, and I'm like, oh, we can move on. Adolin forgives him and becomes his own man. We can move on. And then at the end of the book, we're gonna bring a piece of Dalinar back so that we can do the same fucking things again. We can go in the exact same circle. And we can watch Shadow Dalinar feel really sad about that he killed his wife. And I don't want that. I don't want Adolin to have to talk Shadow Dalinar into feeling bad about the thing that I watched real Dalinar already feel bad about. I don't want to watch that. I don't think it makes sense narratively for the book to bring a piece of this character back so that we can do all the same shit we've already done, when we've already done it 3 times. Dalinar at the end of this book is going through the same emotional journey he went through at the end of Oathbringer, and the pacing of it was boring. And the idea that we're going to have to do this again with a piece of it is like, I can't understand why Brandon Sanderson made this choice. More so than I can't understand why Taravangian did. I can't understand why Brandon Sanderson put himself in a position where we have to talk about all the same issues again, and the series can't go anywhere.
More sense then.
Great.
Because it sounded like you were saying you didn't understand why Taravangian would do these things. And I don't understand how Taravangian is able to do these things. The explanation the book gives me of Dalinar interacted with himself so Taravangian is able to pull him out of the spiritual realm, to me, is the book saying something that I don't think should be possible. Okay. Now that you... Demetrios asks, now that you finished Stormlight Arc 1, you've read all of the mainline Cosmere books. Oh boy. So if you were to rank the Cosmere books you've read, where would Stormlight Arc 1 place? And in a broader ranking of all... Oh, okay. Wait. Let's start with that first. Where would you rank Stormlight Arc 1 in the Cosmere books? So Cosmere books are going to be Mistborn Era 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Stormlight.
Warbreaker, Elantris, and...
I think that's it.
I mean, okay,
Right?
on the strength of Oathbringer, I'm going to go Mistborn Era 1,
Yes.
Stormlight Archive,
Yes.
Mistborn Era 2, Warbreaker, Elantris.
Oh, okay.
In terms of planets. Have we read anything else? Oh, no, you know what? Elantris goes above Warbreaker because Emperor's Soul's so good.
I was going to put Elantris above Warbreaker as well.
Yeah.
Especially because I had more fun reading that one, whereas Warbreaker at the end felt just, like, hollow to me, like, in terms of the people of the world.
Yeah, 100%. No, I agree with that.
Even though there are plenty of things leading to the finale of Warbreaker that I did really like.
Yeah. I think Emperor's Soul puts Elantris above Warbreaker, but I don't think Emperor's Soul is good enough to put it above. There's just more in... Mistborn Era 2 just has more in it, and honestly, I really do like... The end made me cry. Like, I really did enjoy the end of Mistborn Era 2. And I like the first and fourth book of Mistborn Era 2 enough, and it's a bigger series, so there's more to like about it.
I just find it really hard to, like, rank a novella like Emperor's Soul against however many words the Stormlight
I know, that's what's tough.
Is... Because, I think that Emperor's Soul... by itself is my favorite book that Brandon Sanderson has wrote. If we're going by a book. Yeah.
It's still Hero of Ages for me.
But again, it's weird because Hero of Ages is set up so well by the two before it, and I think that as a series conclusion, it's like so fucking incredible. But like as an individual story, it's really hard to rank that because again, that book has the backing of two other books, and do you take that into consideration? I don't know.
Well, for the series conversation, I do.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's hard to rank series against like a novella.
I wept at the end of Mistborn Era 1.
Oh, so did I.
So like for me, like that,
100%.
I didn't cry reading Emperor's Soul. I think it's brilliant, and it might be his best piece of writing. Yeah. But to me, it doesn't have the emotional impact of how hard the end of Mistborn Era 1 made me weep. It just doesn't. Like, and for me, like if you can tap that emotion for me, that makes something better than something that's better written.
Sure. Okay.
I would rather be emotionally moved that hard than read something and think, wow, this is some of the greatest writing I've ever read. Yeah, like, those are separate to me. Yeah. And I don't think Emperor's Soul is some of the greatest writing I've ever read, but I do think it might be his best piece of writing. Shoutouts for Silence in the Forest of Hell is that's not like a main Cosmere line, though. That's like just a novella on its own. It's very good.
Is that main Cosmere or no? The problem is I like in the same.
I put that in the same bucket I put the Secret Projects, where it's like a one-off random thing on the side. But it's not. There's not. It doesn't. It's not like a main line where like a shard is involved and like you know.
Yeah. I honestly don't know.
I don't know. Demetra says, "Where would you? How would you rank Stormlight against everything I've ever read?" Stormlight, middle of the pack because its high highs are so high, but Wind and Truth is such a low for me.
Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't read Final Empire and Wall of Ascension, Hero of Ages wouldn't make any sense.
Well, but that's why I'm saying it's really hard.
Because none of the foreshadowing of the earring and all those things would exist.
Exactly. I think it's really hard to rank a book against, like, a series.
My brother is reading Mistborn right now.
Yeah.
And he called the earring thing immediately.
Well, but he's in the book 3.
No, he was like, yeah, but he just found out about hemalurgy. And he's like, oh yeah, it's like Vin's earring. And I was like, that's crazy.
Wait, no, he's in book 3. He's almost done. He's only got like half a book left.
He has not gotten to the earring moment yet. But I know, but you don't learn about hemalurgy till late. He read about hemalurgy, and his first thing was like, oh, like Vin's earring is going to be related to that.
I'm pretty sure we learn about hemalurgy in book 1. It is like introduced, like, because Marsh disappears, right?
But we don't learn that it's called hemalurgy till like the middle of book 2.
Well, okay, maybe the name of it, question mark. That I'm not 100% sure on. But babe, you no, they're stabbing, but you don't learn that it's called hemalurgy for a while. And you don't know that it's a separate thing for a while. I think in hindsight we do. But like we didn't know that it was a third magic system until much later. We just thought it was like somehow stealing. Yeah, but he found out about hemalurgy and what it does and immediately was like the earring.
Yeah, and his I was just impressed, like, because I didn't predict the earring as hard as he did. Like he was like, yeah, it's an earring thing, right? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I think it's gonna have something to do with, and we were like, not gonna say anything. Enjoy the book. I
don't even know if the word hemalurgy is in the first 2 books.
No, I don't. I'm not sure if the word is, but like.
But yeah, so you don't know that it's a third power for a while.
It has been 2 years.
Yeah.
And so...
Blue says, do you wish you had continued Cradle instead of Cosmere? Sometimes. But no, honestly, no. As much as I didn't like Wind and Truth, I'm glad I finished it.
Yeah.
Mainly because I have some friends I can talk to now, which is fun. Robbie, who's been on the show a couple times, our only recurring guest, he and I can now actually talk about it, which is fun.
Have you?
No, we're gonna hang out. We're gonna have a hangout soon.
Nice. Yeah. Wow. What a time. Shims Slady asks, this series has always been conceptualized as an ensemble cast with a different focus character each book. Do you feel this held up throughout? I personally think it became too much of the Kaladin show at the end.
Blues Barrows, thank you for 10 gifted memberships. Holy shit. Oh my god, it's 2:30?
Thank you.
Holy fuck. Okay, we gotta move through these last questions a little fast. Sorry, I didn't realize I did not know we'd been over 3 hours. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
We did 4 hours on Wednesday. I'm so sorry. I've not looked at the time once this whole time. I was like, we're like 2 hours in. This feels great. I'm vibing. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You mad at me?
No, I just love that you're like, had no idea.
I literally just looked at the time for the first time. Holy shit.
Blues Bars, thank you.
Thanks
Seriously,
so much.
that's incredible.
It's the end of the Stormlight Archive. There's a lot to talk about, okay?
There is a lot to talk about.
I think the ensemble cast element of this book series would have worked more if the ensemble changed more. But because it's so consistent with who the ensemble is and their plot lines are so consistent, like even Venli becomes part of the ensemble of POV characters, but her plot lines, they never manage to rise to the relevance of anyone else's plot line. So even in the way that people are added to the ensemble, they never get to have real moments. And so weirdly, Sigzil is the one that gets added in the final book. And that is just so that he can be set up for a different Cosmere story somewhere else. And so, I don't know. I think the ensemble part of it doesn't really work ultimately, but I understand what he was going for.
I think that the ensemble idea is less undercut by it being the Kaladin show, but more undercut that none of the characters are ever fucking together in this book. Like, I think the ensemble idea falls apart the most in book 5.
Oh, I disagree. I think it falls apart in Rhythm of War, and book 5 can't recover it.
I guess locking like Kaladin alone in the tower, not being able to be a part of anything, really hurts that. And then when you emphasize that with Kaladin taking away Zeth's fifth ideal moment, I do think it becomes kind of the Kaladin show. But I think that it is a mixture of, I think Kaladin.
But the reason why I think Rhythm of War breaks it is because Rhythm of War isn't really an ensemble story. It is the tower story. It becomes a very focused narrative, and everything else around the tower story are people in their own plot lines, sometimes even just their own inner, like Dalinar just is like an inner monologue of Dalinar while this war is happening that he's not leading. Shallan is on this mission, but it's mostly just an inner monologue. She's not really doing anything. And so that weirdly Rhythm of War becomes a plot line about the invasion of the tower. And the other characters are just kind of doing stuff that is so unrelated. Adolin and Maya's plot line in that is so unrelated to anything that it doesn't affect the fifth book at all, right? And so that book loses the idea of it being an ensemble storyline, and it becomes about the invasion of the tower. And the problem with that is that because everyone is on these other plot lines, you want those plot lines to reform the ensemble in book 5, but the characters who do all these random things don't talk to each other about their book 4 plot lines, so they don't impact each other's plot lines in book 5, so the ensemble element is just lost. And book 5 never recovers it. Book 5, if the beginning of book 5 had everyone come in and reveal all the information from book 4, and that information they learned in book 4 was what informed their victories in book 5, then book 4 would still feel like it's part of the ensemble. But because their victories don't affect each other's in book 4, don't affect each other's plots in book 5, they stray further apart rather than feeling like they ever come together.
Right.
And so I do think Rhythm of War actually breaks that promise that Oathbringer upheld so well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Lightline Full says, so will those 10 chapters for DCC be sometime this week? Yes. We have DCC Book Club a week from today.
Yeah.
So we do have 10 reactions to do this week.
Hell yeah.
We might go do one immediately after this.
Nope, we will not be.
You don't want to do one before Magic tonight?
No, we have other stuff to do.
Today?
Well, I mean, we have to eat, we have to film the reel, and then get ready to go. So with the corkboard.
Oh yeah.
So,
okay.
Maybe we'll do it tonight.
Relic Hunter says, "Congrats to finish the book for a future long series. Are you planning on keep reading them back to back like you've been doing, or are you gonna think of space them out with other reads in between?"
Look,
Don't know yet.
Nothing is like the Cosmere in this regard. We read series back to back because it was part of a Cosmere thing, and I don't know another series that does that in the same way.
Yeah.
But I do think if we're reading, like doing all of Mistborn together, Mistborn Era 1, I guess, it makes sense. If we're doing series together, because we're now branching off and covering several different authors and things, I think there might be stuff that's like interspersed. Like obviously like we're doing The Expanse, but we're reading stuff in between The Expanse. But I don't want to take a huge long break unless the book doesn't exist yet from series. Like I think we took too long from Kushiel's. I'm gonna have to read that first book now to get to remember to go to the second book.
Yeah. Relic Hunter says, "You've had so many Stormlight Archive rants. Thinking back, if you can remember since there's been so many, which one stands out as your personal favorite?" Oh, easy for me. Do you have yours?
Like our own rants or the other person's?
Our own. What's your favorite rant you've had? I'll do mine. You think about yours. Being proven so right about Yasna by, like, my rant against Yasna being pushed back on so hard by y'all. And then for book 5 to just, like, vindicate everything I said about her killing those men was delicious. Like, I will relish that victory for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that is fair. I don't remember any rants that I had before this book because I think I really liked most of the first 4. Like, I don't think I had... Chet, if you can remember
You definitely
anything.
had some.
Really? I don't remember there being things that I was, like, upset with in the first 4 books. Like, I liked most
But your
of them.
favorite is your brainstorming rant, right?
Well, it was going to be that or the one that I did 2 days ago where I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, no, brainstorming will never not hurt me physically. I will make a whole fucking video essay about why that should never have been allowed by the author or the editors. Like...
Shims Lady says, "What are your thoughts on the theory everything went according to Cultivation's plan? She's been wanting to escape the Rosharan system, and it seems pretty serendipitous that the 2 men she cultivated into becoming new shards was just the combo required to force a break of the oath, binding all 3 of them there. Would be interesting if that was in the books more, but I don't know. I think that theory could be right, but then again, that just leads us to more it was just predetermined, which just to me makes the books less interesting, so... I don't want it to be the case, but it probably is. That theory is probably correct, and also it makes the shards continue to ruin any interest I have in this series.
Yeah, I really hope that is not the case.
Yeah.
That is my thoughts.
Yeah. Rob Ross says, you've read 2 in-connected series, Wheel of Time and Cosmere. One is finished, one isn't. How do you compare them with writing characters and action scenes? I think that Brandon Sanderson writes better characters and better action sequences in terms of...
like creativity?
The moment-to-moment of action sequences. Robert Jordan writes his characters into their own plots better than Brandon Sanderson does, and interconnects plots better than Brandon Sanderson does, while also writing action sequences that... thematically have more resonance than Brandon Sanderson's.
Okay.
Brandon Sanderson can make you experience the coolest fight ever, and Robert Jordan tells you why why fighting matters and what impact a fight.
And the fog of war feeling, I think, was well done.
Robert Jordan managed to have his characters have PTSD on page without having a character come in and say the word therapy. And Brandon Sanderson needed to spell it out because he doesn't write artistically enough to have me understand what's going on without him telling me. That's the difference. Yeah. Yeah. In my opinion.
No, I hear that. I do think, in terms of... they also ask, what do you appreciate between the 2 authors?
I feel like I kind of said it there, but...
Yeah, I think that encompasses, like, a lot of what we appreciate between the 2. And I do think that Robert Jordan's prose is nicer.
Yeah, Robert Jordan has a gift for language.
Yeah.
Brandon Sanderson is an incredible author who does not have a gift for language.
Yeah.
Like, it really is kind of shocking sometimes how boring sentences in Brandon Sanderson books are, given how popular they are. But when you take them as a whole, you understand why. But you can pull out sentences from Brandon Sanderson and be like, God, this is like elementary school level writing. But it is the
idea,
the simplicity
science,
fits into a complex world in a way that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both have their own strengths.
Yeah.
Are you, Rob Ross also asks, are you ready for me to become an obnoxious know-it-all again once we start The Expanse? Look, I'm so excited.
When did you stop being obnoxious?
Wow. No, here's the thing. I'm going to need someone to explain the science to me, because I will have zero clue. So
I think the books are going to do a good job of that. I'm not worried about that.
Fair.
Yeah.
I think that the books might rely on a certain fundamental, like, base level, like, level 1 understanding of how all this shit works, and I don't even have that. So.
Team Rocket says, would you rather read Wind and Truth again or Knife of Dreams? You mean Knife of Daggers, right?
Look, if it's between Crossroads of Twilight and Wind of Truth, I'll take Wind and Truth. But I think between Wind and Truth and, Knife of Dreams, I'll take Knife of Dreams.
I think Knife of Dreams is just so much shorter.
True. You'll get through it so much faster.
I think the audiobook might be 20 hours less.
Yeah.
They're both bad. They're both dull. But one of them is 20 hours longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think that answers the question for you.
Yeah.
Star asks, I've seen people point out that the Cosmere novels like...
Knife of Dreams isn't No. Knife of Dreams isn't bad. Knife of Dreams is good.
It's the one right before Winter's Heart, but it is book 2 of the slog. Crown of Swords is a bit sloggy, and then we...
No, Crossroads of Twilight is the worst one.
That's what I said. I said if it was between Crossroads of Twilight and Wind and Truth, I will take Wind and Truth.
It's still like 20 hours longer.
I don't care. Because there's still highs in Wind and Truth.
No, Knife of Dreams has good moments. I would take Knife of Dreams.
That's what I mean. I don't...
No, Knife of Dreams is a banger. Knife of Dreams is after Crossroads of Twilight. It's Robert Jordan's last book, and we liked it a lot. You're thinking of Crown of Swords. Knife of Dreams is a banger. I would take Knife of Dreams 1,000 times over Wind and Truth.
No. What's book 8?
Path of Daggers.
Path of Daggers.
No, Knife of Dreams rocks.
This is why I confused Knife of Daggers, and now I can't untangle them in my brain.
Yeah. No, Knife of Dreams... I would...
Yeah, no, Knife is great.
Wind and Truth and Crossroads of Twilight is hard. Knife of Dreams is a great... We love Knife of Dreams.
Yeah, no, I do enjoy that book, so yeah, no, fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's the one that starts with the Galad sword fight. Yeah.
God damn it. Okay. Never mind.
Star says, I've seen people point out that later Cosmere novels like Wind and Truth are increasingly MCU-y. Yes, 1,000%. In both Cosmere connections and also in quippy dialogue. Mistborn Era 2 had some like very MCU feeling dialogue for sure.
Yeah, it was like, Thor Love and Thunder.
How have you felt about the shift in dialogue language used throughout the series? I think that Dragonsteel Nexus is making a lot of money right now because of it, just like the MCU was. Mm-hmm. I think Wind and Truth was not Endgame. I think Wind and Truth felt more like a post-Endgame MCU thing than an Endgame. And because of that, I actually think there is a chance that Brandon Sanderson sees a fall off like the post-Endgame thing is, but without the but at least we got Endgame conversation that you hear about the MCU.
Yeah, I do think that the dialogue and language should have been consistent through these 5 books because they're part of the same series.
Yeah.
If Mistborn Era 2 reads different than Stormlight, that's fine. But I don't think Wind and Truth should have read differently than The Way of Kings.
I don't think it should have read differently than Rhythm of War.
Well, yes.
Those books take place within days of each other.
Exactly.
Star also asked, given how Roshar's world was and all the mystery build up across the series, I personally expected the cognitive realm and spiritual realm to be more alien than what we ended up getting. Did the explorations of Shadesmar and or the spiritual realm live up to your expectations in aesthetic setting, not plot? I think Shadesmar is so cool.
Yeah.
And I think the visions in the spiritual realm were so boring that it made the spiritual realm seem like it sucks, but it could be interesting.
Yeah. That's 100% it.
I think that's a fair way of saying it.
I didn't like the Shadesmar plot line, and so it just really made the whole thing feel completely
The Shadesmar plot line?
bland. The spiritual realm.
Oh, yeah.
The spiritual realm plot line. Sorry, there wasn't a Shadesmar one. The spiritual realm stuff felt very bland.
Yeah, I agree. John Stormlight asks, what do you think about the development of queer representation throughout the Stormlight Archive?
I like that it is there, but again, I feel like in book 5, it felt shoehorned in for this Relaine relationship. And I wish that it had been set up better. I think I would have enjoyed it so much more if it felt like it had been built up throughout the series instead of kind of just throwing it in this book only.
I think that the Renar and Relaine stuff, it's a cute thing that doesn't work because of Brandon Sanderson's unwillingness to allow the singer listener side of it to really be a part of their relationship. Like the fact that this book ends with Relaine with Renarin inside a bubble that keeps him from his entire species, and it's not brought up, is very weird to me. I don't mind that they're gay. I obviously like that's not it. It feels like their relationship is rushed because it has to be related to the Bidom Mishram thing. And there's just a way it could have been done that would have worked better. And then at the end, like, Relaine is just with the humans in a gay relationship, and his listenerness, what makes him him is left out in a way that I don't know. I wish it had just been established earlier, and
that's I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. It does feel weird.
I like that it's there. I think it was honestly poorly handled because it felt like it had to be shoehorned into this book.
I think like I like the queer representation in Renette. I think Miss Murder 2 is good queer representation. I think a lesbian woman who's frustrated because this straight man won't leave her alone is a very real thing. And, it's one of Wayne's many sins. But Renette is just gay, and it's not a problem. No one thinks anything of it. I liked... is Drehy the one that's gay?
Yeah.
Yeah, Drehy's marriage being just, like, a formality of paperwork that's better queer representation to me than... Honestly, the how forced the Relaine Renar and stuff is in this book, given how little their main characters in previous books. And honestly, like the trans representation of just having it be very casual that the Reshi King is, trans that's good representation. It's like, I don't know. I don't really have a problem with the representation of the transness. I do have a problem with the representation of how he handles the indigenous culture colonialism thing that he wrote into this.
100%.
So I do think that's strange. Final question. Belazriel says, back still reading day 9, so I'm not sure if this happens to be addressed soon. We've seen the use of unreliable narrators and limited information in both this book and others in the Cosmere. When have you thought it was done well, and when did it negatively impact your enjoyment?
Okay. All right. Fucking Odium just pulling his family out of the motherfucking...
Oh, yeah.
...interlude out of Carbranth. They're fine. Everyone's good, even though we were in his POV. We should have it should have been a thought in his head because we were in his head.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I think in hindsight, for me, the Shallan, every book she has a new traumatic memory that's all the same memory, but somehow she only gets weird pieces of it thing, in hindsight, really doesn't work for me. Partially because in my worldview, the most traumatic one is the first one. And so it's like, I think that her stabbing her mom is the most traumatic of the 3 moments. And so each reveal after that is less impactful. So her storyline doesn't grow. To me, it shrinks.
I feel like, I think her having to fucking strangle her dad is on par with that. But it's not the same moment.
That's the same book, though.
Yeah.
The 3 reveals are she killed her parents.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The second reveal is that she killed Testament. But, like, I don't even understand why, as a child, she understood what that meant.
That didn't work for us either.
But then the third reveal is that her mom is a herald, but that literally doesn't matter to her, weirdly. Like, the third traumatic reveal being that her mom was a herald doesn't, like, impact the plot in any way.
It
or
doesn't
like
seem like it matters.
Yeah, and it's not that traumatic. Like, I think it is less traumatic than the fact that you stabbed her. And so I found
Well,
the,
is it more traumatic to stab your mother, or is it more traumatic to learn that your mom was trying to breed you to be tortured for eternity and take your place in an oath pact that she made and you had no say in?
Stabbing my mom.
All right.
The physically hold and choking my dad. It's stabbing my mom and choking my dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It impacted the plot 7 years ago.
I just feel like that reveal is so wild to me.
Yeah. Shallan was my favorite character first 2 books. She went downhill. I don't think she goes downhill. She's just not in a plot line where she can be interesting. Like, I actually think Shallan as a character is still interesting.
She's been used very
She's
poorly.
interesting in plot lines that suck. That's my problem with Shallan, is that I actually think, even in Wind and Truth, as a character, I think Shallan is a very interesting character who's in a plotline where I'm like, get her anywhere else, please.
Yeah.
Let her do anything other than just have 4 conversations with Mraize and then stab Yaddle before... Never talks to Yaddle. Never talks to Yaddle.
But same with Yasna.
Yasna's not interesting, though. We're told that Yasna's interesting.
I think she's interesting.
But it's because we're told she is. We don't get to see her be interesting.
I don't know.
We're just told that she's the smartest, she's honestly more interesting in Way of Kings.
Every moment we have in her head, I do find her interesting and very capable, and I wish that...
Sure, but she's just not doing anything.
That's what I mean. I wish she was used...
in Rhythm of War, we're told that she's this fucking, genius, and it's and what is she doing in this book? She fights one time and she fucks Wit. That's not a plot.
No, but that's what I mean. She's more interesting than the stuff she's given.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But most of it is because of what we're told about her. And I buy what we're told about her until she loses the dumbest debate against Harvangian, but...
Yeah.
She did want to
I'm with Arizu. Yasna being interesting was actually set up really well for me in book 1. And so that's why I'm like, I think she is interesting.
But if she had stayed dead, it would have been the same thing.
Perhaps, yeah.
I don't think the series would have changed that much.
I would have really fucking missed her and been like, damn, I would have loved to see more of Yasna, and it would have been better than her being in plot lines that are...
Well, but also if Yasna had died, and then we go to the spiritual realm and we meet Yasna in book 5, and we're like, if she had lived, none of this might have happened. There's ways that could have been so cool. Yasna was interesting in Oathbringer in that one scene where she was fighting epic style. Oh yeah, it's a cool fight, but that's all it is. It's just it's cool use of abilities, and Brandon Sanderson's great at using abilities. Yeah.
Thank you for all the questions.
My most hated off-screen in the main Cosmere Book Club, Z-Run just wrote this a couple hours ago. My most hated off-screen tell don't show moment, Talon forgiving the other heralds off-screen. Yeah, Kaladin. The postlude should have been Talon talking to the other heralds, not Kaladin being like, Talon forgives you, which is so wild.
Here's the weird thing is that you were like, we don't know that the heralds madness is cured yet, right? When they go to this fancy realm, but Talon wasn't even able to speak before, so it seems like he is cured if he was able to give them forgiveness.
Yeah. All right, high-low for the whole series. Let's go. We're comment centered with bitch. Her high, my low, her low, my high. It's 2:46. We gotta move.
No, trust me, I know.
Clark's gonna be so mad at me off camera, you guys. She's gonna yell at me for going long again.
Yeah.
She threw scissors at me yesterday.
You can't say that. People are gonna be like, wow, they're fucked. Talon
speaks on page, you guys.
He's shy. The camera's on him and he just freezes up. He's like, I can't actually.
Me too. Very shy.
Yeah. Bruh, I don't know.
You have to come up with a high for the Stormlight Archive. There's things in this you like. Come on.
I know. And I think that maybe part of it is a recency bias. But I think when I step away from Stormlight and I think about a singular moment that has stuck the best in my head. Sorry, excuse me. It is the Raboniel moment.
Yeah.
Which is why I struggle ranking that book as low as I have, in terms of the order, because because that moment is just really I don't know what it is. I feel it in my bones. I connect to it. And I don't know if that is really my high for the entire... I'll read it again and then I'll let you know. But right now, it is the one that sticks out in my brain with a, footnote as, subject to change. You know?
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
It's hard.
The lowest moment of the entire Stormlight Archive. I don't want to just say Wind and Truth. So I'm going to say... Nail saving Zeth at the end of Words of Radiance. At the time, it nearly ruined that whole book for me.
Right. Yeah. It was not well handled. Even if it... I feel like, the beat could have played out differently.
I like how Zeth is in the rest of these books.
Yeah.
But the idea of it... And, like, the healing of Zeth's soul back into his body... I don't know. Yeah. Like, that could have been cool, I think. And the fact that same thing's happening with his sister, I guess, is kind of interesting. But in hindsight, that didn't really ever make sense and didn't go anywhere. So, I don't know. Like, I like how Zeth is in the rest of the series. And so, like, I'm not mad that he's alive. But in the moment, that felt like the biggest cop-out in the world. For what I thought was this huge moment for Kaladin. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I hated it then. And I understand why we did it. But, like, I hated it then.
Yeah. My low is the fact that so much hinges on the music of this world and the flute, but it's never like seeded through Kaladin's storyline throughout these 5 books. It kind of feels like it comes out of nowhere. And I think the reason why it's such a low for me is that I love the idea of it so much that I would have, I wish it had been set up for success. Because I think it would have hit hard. I think it really would have got to me. And, I know fucking Ishi makes fun of it later. He's like, shut up with your nursery rhymes. But the theme of music is just one that I think was fumbled so hard.
One, it's so forced into Kaladin's plot, but nobody else's.
And Kaladin has no connection to music before this, and they could have had... It could have been. What's your high?
Yeah, like, you could have almost had, like, instead of having sand from another planet be how they, like, know that, there's, like, radiance going on, like, they could have had, like, tuning forks that, like, start to vibrate when people use surges and things.
Because we know
so there's, like, a musical way of knowing...
We know they move Stormlight.
Yeah.
So you could have had it, like,
like, there's tuning forks that are... There's tuning forks that are, like, at the exact frequency that is surges. And so, like, you have to worry about, like... Just to have more musical elements, things like that could have worked. Yeah.
You Cannot Have My Pain is definitely a big moment.
That's mine. That's my favorite. The end of Oathbringer. And honestly, the whole fight. Like, Rock using the bow, Lift's being engaged. Lift was so good at the end of Oathbringer, man. I hate that she just becomes a horny teenager in the last 2 books. Who's just there to, like, hit on... To stare at older men.
Dalinar's butt.
And like, she has some funny moments, but like, I just Lift does so much at the end of Oathbringer. I thought she was gonna be so much a bigger part of the rest of these 2 books. She just really isn't, and I don't know. But I know the end of Oathbringer to me is the highlight of the whole series. It's so good. It's why it's one of my favorite books ever written. And yeah, I just love it. I love the end of Oathbringer so much. Mm-hmm. All right, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We went 4 hours again somehow, guys. Book club in 2026. This will be the only 4-hour book club in 2026. Okay. We need our life back. We can't keep doing this. But we probably will because I'm me and I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
But we are gonna be Okay. We are gonna be back with other things. I have to stream a game in the next couple days. So I'm gonna stream a game soon.
Great.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
No idea what's going on.
I forgot I applied for that thing. Anyway, we're going to be back in a week with Dungeon Crawler Carl, chapter 1 through 27. We have 10 reactions to do. Don't worry.
Yes?
Don't worry. We'll be back with Dungeon Crawler Carl and 10 reactions. We definitely have time for.
This week is honestly, it's fine.
I
It'll
know.
be good.
And honestly, I'm so excited to read that book. Subscribe, do all the things. Hit the dislike button if you want. We might be trying out some new things on this channel in 2026, so get ready for more book reviews. We might go to, like, we haven't talked about this, but this is an idea I had. Not I had. Someone had this idea, and I wanted to run it by you, so I'll run it by you live so that chat can comment.
Great.
Where we don't do full book recaps anymore as a full podcast, but we take questions and we post the full book recap as a separate video.
What's the difference between doing it as a video or a live?
So that the Fridays are always talking about books.
We did the full book recap specifically so that we could have a little break.
I know. So I don't know.
Maybe.
But to have more like, so that there's more like videos on this channel to help it grow. Because right now we're not finding new subscribers.
Oh, because it's only live streams. I understand that. Okay. Look, I like the full book recaps because as a live, it gives us time to talk about the whole thing. There's a lot of reasons.
We get to rehash arguments we've already had.
There's a lot of reasons that I like them, but I don't know. If you guys don't like them, then like, what's the point?
I think some people do. We need to figure out a way to get new eyes on the channel.
Yeah. We're just already adding more reading.
We are going to add chapter 1 of Dungeon Crawler Carl will be a public audiobook reaction. We're going to test that out on this channel and see if that helps find people who don't follow us, but like Dungeon Crawler Carl, to bring them into the members or to get them to show up at Book Club Friday. So if you're not a member and you want to experience an audiobook reaction, in the next few days, you will get to experience Dungeon Crawler Carl Chapter 1.
Yeah, just Chapter 1.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun. We are going to get out of here because it's been 4 hours. If you want to make any recommendation or anything, do that everywhere. Go check out the 2025 in review video.
Yes.
Because the comments of that are going to be where we pull a lot of things that we're going to do this year.
Yes, on Nerdy Nightly. Please, go comment on that video in particular because it's an easy spot
for us to... It is the pinned video on that channel.
Yeah, so. It's easy for us to go back and actually check that, whereas like in Discord, things do unfortunately get lost. So.
Yeah. Everybody, do something nerdy tonight. Thank you, mods. And Clarus, add...
They fuck. Goodbye.
The last big smut moment. What?
I don't know.
Come on, give me one great smut addition to this series. Okay, so here's mine.
Okay, go for it.
You go to the spiritual realm.
Okay.
You go on a little journey. We'll say Navani in the spiritual realm, loses Dalinar for a bit, finds herself, fucks herself, has a great time.
My nightmare.
Comes back to Urithiru. God pulls Navani with her. There's 2 Navanis. Dalinar gets to have a threesome with 2 wives.
Yeah, that is a nightmare.
Sounds great to me.
That is a terrible time.
If I could fuck 2 Claruses?
Yeah, but then we would be like, but I want to be with you. And there's not enough room for all of us. Always.
We could get more done. If there were 2 of you, think of how many reactions we could do.
Well, Navani, famous YouTube reactor, probably feels the same way.
But the funniest thing about there being 2 of you is that there would be times where we don't remember which of you watched something because you wouldn't remember.
No, I would have no idea.
Season 2 of a show would come out and I'd be like, which of you watched season 1 with me? And you'd both be like,
not 100%
was it me?
Sure.
I don't know.
I'm not. I don't know.
All right, bye everybody.
Be wild.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, bye.